Hello. All right. So I'm going to go to my computer. It is the wife and I right now, and Stan is here working. And I am going to set up the comments on the big screen. I will probably move them later for a reference. Let's mute. Whoa. Hello, Micro Halloween, John C., Hugo, Cordier, Leite, Scuba Steve, Poison Sumac, Christina Mantai, John Royski, Sean Davies, Susan Atai, Rachel Powell, Robert White, Larry Hughes, Michelle Schulte, Big Dog Mask, Gregory Haynes, Stacy Hawkins, Nana Fran 62, Michael J. Lassiter, Rodney Pope, Rachel Powell, Christina Mantai, Chad Smith, Mike Trzanowski. Mike Trzanowski. Mike Trzanowski. How did I do? CD, Mike Murphy, Kirk Makaya, Plastic Ninja, Shannon Phillips, good day in Australia. DM Cash, hello. Dusty Dennings, hello. And my wife will handle all the shout outs from here. I have to get this set up.
You said you got it right.
I did?
You did. You
It
said
took
it right.
me a moment of processing.
You said it right. Good job. New to show, love it. Billy G 1001.
Okay, that's not the crinkle of a tin can. If you guys watched the ghost video, you know that there was some tubing, and that plastic tubing came in this plastic wrapper. And Boris loves to tear up anything that makes noise. So he's going to do that for a little while. He just wants to tear it up. So, yeah. See, he just wants to destroy it. Holds it down with his paws and then rips it apart with his mouth. Good times. Oh, hey, thank you. My friend made this shirt. My friend Cora. This is her version of this drawing, and it's cool.
Ross says, hello, headed from the Gatlinburg in the morning. Holy cow, there's probably 6 bears on this trip.
That's great. Did you punch any? That would have been awesome. I have to take this away from him. It's just too noisy. Buddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, friend. Okay. Boy, he's not liking that. I'll tell you what, this will be quieter, and you can break down this box for me. You can be the vice president of recycling, and you can break down this box. Okay? Thank you, bud. We'll check back with you in a while and see how you do at breaking that box down. Thanks. Okay. Whew. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. I'm just reading comments. Some folks should have gotten shipping information in the mail. Michael Lasker got his. Very good. Just making sure you guys got your notification that you shipped today.
I am sculpting tonight.
Billy G 1001 says recovering from cancer surgery. This is my new therapy while I'm recuperating.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that we can hang out with you and be here in your time of need. Even if it's just entertainment need, here we are. So in order to be able to sculpt tonight, I had to mold the leech mask and I had to mold the jaguar. I got the jaguar molded, I got the leech molded. It's not cleaned out. Neither one is power washed and cleaned out, but they're molded, and that's what matters. I'm going to clean this table off so that I will be able to sculpt on it.
Lemon Lime the Wolf says, can plaster of Paris work on air dry clay? And Can you use latex on the plaster of Paris? So glad I finally caught another live video.
Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of plaster of Paris because it's just not that consistent. It has different hardness ratings. I don't like it. So, can it work? Yes. Will it work? I can't tell you. I have no idea. Can it work? Is it possible to use plaster of Paris to make a mold? It's possible. It won't be the best mold, but I get that it's convenient and easy to buy. Will latex work on air dry clay? Meaning, can you paint an air dry clay sculpture with latex, let it dry, do a few layers, and then peel it off like a mask? Yes, you can. That will work.
Does Cora sell those shirts?
She did or does. You know what I'll do? I will try. Who is that asking?
Mike Murphy.
Okay, Mike, are you on the Creepers group, our Facebook group for communicating so I can see your work and stuff? Because if you are, I will either post a link or I will get this artwork from Cora and throw it on Teespring. And then you can just get one of those and I will slide money on the side of Cora.
Plastic Ninja says, I love his begrudging acceptance of the new item to chew upon.
Yeah, he was really happy with that real noisy thing, but you can hear that he's going down on that box.
Larry says, Cujo will be here Monday, can't wait.
Hooray.
Bruce says, finally got to deliver my Fiji mermaid today.
Rue, that looked wonderful. I was scrolling quickly when I saw it. You did a killer job on that.
Nathan says he got the shipping info for his shirt. Gregory Haynes, the vice president of recycling, is so cute.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Christina Mantai, hey Alan, I injured myself by landing on my knee wrong.
Don't do that. But luckily, you come with two knees.
Plastic Ninja says, the Cujo mask got me to actually watch the movie.
Hooray. And even with one knee, the Karate Kid was still able to take out his opponent by mastering the crane kick.
Christina says, I injured my knee while sliding.
While sliding. Yeah, slide. It's good for that. Every now and then you'll go to run and slide, and you don't know that your pad moved, and it's no longer where you normally land on it, and you land on your knees, and it hurts like a booger. And I don't know what you weigh, but I bet I weigh more.
James Minnick says, hello. Mike Murphy says, sorry, I don't do Facebook.
No problem. Well, if I put it in the Teespring store, I have a Teespring store. If you look on YouTube, you can find my Teespring store. I'll get it there in the next couple days. I'm pretty sure it's possible. We'll do that then.
Realm says, I fixed my pig. Thanks for the tips. Trash
Oh.
garden and haunted yard. Billy G, I want one of your teas. Where can I buy one?
There should be a link to Teespring coming up shortly, right there in the comments.
Stacy's got it.
Stacy is on it.
And on the website. Let's see.
So this might be it. Go ahead.
Love your YouTube Wednesday video, says Line Cook.
Hey, thank you.
Alan, stop trying to cut your fingers. Be safe, man, says Ezekiel.
Hey, it happens.
Tina says, I think you dropped a tool on Tuesday's floor by the Coke bottle.
By the what?
Coke bottle.
I may have. Who knows?
What do you think about Realm's pig?
It was a pig. Yeah, I mean, refining for a first sculpt, it's great. But it's not done until you decide it's done. I don't think that sculptures ever get finished. We just quit on them. So this.
Say hello to Susie Gardner.
Hello, Susie Gardner. This is the leech mask. I don't know if you remember that Chelsea came and sculpted. I have not done anything with it yet, aside from made the mold earlier today.
Oh, Susie Gardner is Stacy's mom.
Oh!
Hi.
Hi!
Hi. Hi, this is Stacy's mom. Christina's excited that you have socks in the store.
We do have socks in the store. I need und dies.
Hello, Robert White.
That is the sculpting form and the clay and the leach mask. I'm not going to mess with this right now, really, but I do want to get off of that board.
Sparrows Peg says hello.
Hello.
Susie Gardner loves watching the show.
Hooray!
And Christina's very excited about socks. Got leggings too, Christina.
We do have some weird Stilt Beast leggings. Like
Ben
that.
says, did I miss the bingo vote?
No, you haven't yet. We haven't even started it, but we're about to. Okay, so here's what I need. Hey, Stan, can I borrow you? Stan is coming. You want to see how well my vice president in charge of recycling is doing? That box is completely broken down and piled up. So, yeah. So, Stan, come here. I want you to pick 3 sticks out of here.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
You can read them. And then Shannon's going to pick 3.
Okay.
Okay.
And those will be the 6 that they choose from. And wife, what you have to do is you have to
I have to pick how many?
pick 3, and Stan's going to pick 3. Now you guys can choose. You don't have to pick blind.
So much more.
It's not like draw a card.
No, I'm gonna go blind.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Just throw them anywhere.
Okay.
Stan, are you also picking blind?
Yep.
Okay. So now there's 6. Hand me the 6 that they're going to choose from, and I will read them off. Here's 3. Here's 3. All right. Boy, you guys.
Hi, Horror Beauty. How are you? Hi, Connie.
So here's the kicker, guys. I like everything on this list, but I think they picked the ones that most people will want to see the least. That's getting okay. Honey, any questions? Let's get caught up before I start reading these and it goes crazy.
Okay, Shannon, the inside of your house, light or dark? It's dark. Robert, we live in a log cabin.
Yes.
We live in a log house, and it is dark. I'm good, Ezekiel. Good to have you back. You did not miss bingo.
No. Bingo is coming.
How many other people do you have hidden around the shop? Nick, that's all we have. It just says 3 tonight.
That's it today.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
Nice sock stand, says Big Tom.
Thank you.
Stan, what are on those socks?
These are my 1980s Miami Vice palm trees, and
Okay.
that was all.
That's
The
good.
line says you should pick 2 blind and 1 not blind.
Well, they decided to both pick all 3 blind, and now Stan is sad that he didn't pick Hordak.
I am.
He was hoping he could have picked
I
Hordak,
could have picked it.
but he wanted to pick blind, so
Next
that's
week.
so he didn't get Hordak.
Christina says, I love Stan's socks.
Are we caught up, wife?
Uh,
All right.
Realms would like to, any more tips on the pig mask?
I will hop online after this, and I will look at your pig. So, honey, I need one person who's got to tally votes. Who is the person who is watching? Because I'm going to tell you the 6 things here, and then you guys vote on it. That's how that works. You guys will just type in by a comment what you want to see sculpted. Well, my view is wild.
Pick blind because the sock's blind. It says
Ezekiel don't know.
That's possible.
Bipolar Bushman. Hello, Alan, Mrs. Allen, and friend. Good to see you again. Bipolar Bushman. Right now.
Hello, bipolar bushman.
Cobwebs, hello. Because I want you all to know I have broken the $2 ceiling in ad revenue. Gold chains and jet skis for everyone.
That's excellent. It actually took a long time for me on YouTube because they don't send you any money until you made $100. So they'll be like, "Yep, you made $60, but we're not going to send it to you until you make
Oh my
100."
goodness, that's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get some folks here.
And congrats. I need a name.
Susie Gardner.
Susie Gardner.
Stacy's mom. Stacy's mom, are you game to tally up votes?
Are you willing to watch the comments and pick a winner between these 6? It's going to get crazy because everybody who's on here is going to start shouting out one of these names. Well, typing out, not actual shouting. And if you are willing, then you're it. You just have to pay attention. And right now it's 7:36.
Okay, she's willing.
All right. It's
Go,
7:36. At 7:45, 9 minutes from now, I want a final answer of what I'm sculpting tonight. Here are your options. Neanderthal. I want to sculpt that. That's going to be a scarier than normal Neanderthal. So Neanderthal, that is an option on the table. A snapping turtle monster. A snapping turtle version of monster, which I also kind of excited about that. Clawful from the Masters of the Universe.
Michael Blaster said, "Oh man, I can't stand Stacy's mom. Crap."
Clawful from the Masters of the Universe is another option. Grizzlor from the Masters of the Universe.
Oh Lord.
Triclops from the Masters of the Universe, who is just a dude, by the way. Triclops is kind of just, he's a dude, and the thing on his head with the extra eyes, I'm going to do out of EVA foam. And then the last one, this has been, like, from the beginning, from the very first time we did this, the audience picks, I have had a simian ape mask on here. Because I want to build a character to play with at Haunts that is a flying monkey, and I want to use this mask for it. So simian ape, Triclops, Grizzlor, Clawful, Snapping Turtle, Neanderthal. Those are the ones that you guys get to pick from. Each one of these already has a folder full of images on my computer that I will use as reference while I am sculpting tonight.
How long does Stacy's
At
mom
7:45, we will know. I need Stacy's mom to tell me. Sorry about that, guys. You've been drinking. At 7:45, I need Stacy's mom to tell me which one has been picked. Now, she can override and just pick what she wants. But many people actually tally up votes. You know, I wanted to make sure that she was ready and prepared. I will go over, while you guys are here, the benefits of each. I've done a lot of these, and I want to do another simian-type ape. That's a tighter, closer fit. The last time I did one was a gorilla, and it's just too big. Triclops. Triclops he's necessary to complete the set, but let's face it, he is a set completer as far as I am concerned on the Masters of the Universe stuff, because it looks so human. Grizzlor. Grizzlor is right up my alley because he's basically a wild man, wolf man type monster. But he looks cool. He kind of is a cross between Ukla the Mock and the Wolfman. I really like Grizzlor. Clawful. Half man, half crab. What more do I need to say? What more do I need to say? I happened to see Celeste Kitty saying good evening. Good evening. Good to see you on.
Your Masters of the Universe.
Are they-
Might be,
Are they over it?
I think they're over it.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
I think the summer of the Masters of the Universe is over.
And here is the snapping turtle mask. This was actually suggested by, I believe it was Finn Godwolf, who is on right now. He suggested the snapping turtle mask, and I'd like to do it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had two bad guys that were snapping turtles. They had Toka and Razar, and I think this could be a really scary looking monster. And I see these guys when I'm fishing all the time, and that would be fun. And Neanderthal. I also want to do a character that is a Neanderthal. One of my favorite seasons haunting was at Trail of Terror, and I ended up playing a caveman for about half the season, and it was a blast. I think I could do a fun, scary, funny Neanderthal character, like for a Haunt Q line. I think it could be fun.
William Mann, live in the feed. I ran across a video of yours over the weekend, and I must say I can't stop watching and enjoying your work.
That's awesome. Who said that?
William Mann.
Okay, William. Excellent. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Yeah, this is something that we do on Wednesdays. And sometimes I'll have a guest sculptor. Sometimes it's just me. But I will be sculpting tonight, and it's 7:41. Right around 10:30, I'll have a finished mask. Well, a nearly finished sculpture. In the meantime, I'm cleaning off this table because there's 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes to get in your vote. Maybe something I said swayed you and you want to change your mind. That's fine.
Very Flanagan. Now in addition to the masks, they are amazing. I do want to do some kind of hands for the rabbit.
Okay. I can do hands for the rabbit if you'd like. Larry had an order from me, and Larry, Barry, how are your pigs coming? I was thinking of Larry's Cujo. Barry, how are your pigs coming?
Money and a bird. He said not good.
Let me know if you need pig help. I'll always remember Barry because I'm not a drinker, okay? Like, I don't consume a lot of alcoholic beverages. And I think it was MHC one year, Barry brought apple pie moonshine.
Was that Barry?
That was Barry. And it was delicious.
Was that Barry?
It's, like apple pie moonshine would make me drink more often. I tend to like sweets, I don't like savory. But apple pie moonshine, yes, delicious.
Did you give that to Laura?
I don't know if he gave some to Laura. Who knows?
Never did press Laura. Okay, Cobweb says, Mummerod gets unboxed on Friday.
Wow.
Pay close attention and tell me my Easter eggs in the comments. All right, we are going to be ready. Cobweb, Friday is Monster Camp, so we may not get to watch it till
Till I fall over.
we recover on Monday, but we'll catch it, I promise. Celeste Kitty, is it okay to post pictures from my Japanese SFX box on the Facebook page?
As long as they're not inappropriate, yes.
Micro
Sure.
Halloween, about how much would a custom full mask cost?
It depends. It depends on the mask because, if your custom full mask you want moving servo tentacles, well, that's going to cost more. If you want a custom mask of Rondo Hatton, that's going to not cost that much. It's just a different sculpt. But a custom half mask with a brand new sculpt starts at about $400, $450. It kind of depends, but and then the question is then, do I have the rights to make more down the road, or do you want it exclusive to you? Because that adds about $200 to it. And I would store the mold for a length of time. Yeah.
Let's see. Celeste Kitty says, don't worry, Alan, I'll drink it for you.
Hooray.
Oh my goodness. Realm says, question. I was looking at some of your old videos, and I've seen it shot clean live with your molds, and I see your dead possum. I wondered if you would sell it separate, and if so, how much?
The dead possums were going to be $35. That's how much a dead possum was going to be. And I have a whole box full of dead possums poured up, but not quite finished. I have so many dead possums, I could have a dead possum lab, where everybody comes and finishes out a dead possum. I could do that.
Ezekiel says, apple pie moonshine, oh my. That was why I did the penguin at MHC.
Dude, yeah, apple pie moonshine. And you could probably blame Barry.
Horror Beauty says, you have to try butter pecan moonshine. Dana, it is great.
I will.
Gregory Haynes is still voting for Snapper Jack Turtle.
I have a deep respect for snapping turtles. While fishing one time, I came across the corpse of one, and alright, so if he was all the way rotted, I could have slid into his shell. Like, that's how big this guy is. His shell was every bit the size of the hood of a car. Massive snapping turtle. He was deceased.
Barry Flanagan says, I do want hands for the rabbit. Send me an invoice.
Wife, send that man an invoice. We'll get
We're
there.
going to be needing time.
I'm supposed to find out what I'm sculpting now. Let's have it, Stacy's mom.
It's going to be Stacy's mom. She's telling it. Christina says, Alan, if I come to Monster Camp next year, I will bring Fireball fudge for you, so you don't have to.
I could consume my whiskey in sugary form.
Celeste Kitty says, we want to reserve 2 spots for a Monster Camp in February.
Woohoo! And apparently there'll be boozy fudge.
Ben says, I so much want to see the snapping turtle. I think it'd be awesome. Realm says, would you sell them blank so you don't have to do it? Possums.
I could also sell a possum blank. That's possible, yes.
Okay, guys, hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Are we
You
over?
guys, this gets buried in the feed, and I will not remember 3 hours from now, so stand by.
You're making her work, guys. You're making her work.
I'm not reading anything else till I write this down.
That's possumable.
Okay. Got you cobwebs, got you berry. Let's see. Wow, guys, 113 people are watching. Mom says, snapping turtle.
Snapping turtle. Wait, how do we know that? Oh, okay. Gosh, snapping turtle. It's snapping turtle.
Fun.
Somewhere, Finn Godwolf is doing a backflip.
Bipolar Bushman says, I have an 8-kilo opossum fur in my garage. I'm a possum trapper in New Zealand. Dead possums, also.
Well, that's awesome. That's a fun way to make a living.
Okay.
If you really hate possums. Oh, I gotta steal a chair from Stan. Stan has my chair.
Ben says, it was that story that Alex told about the turtle. I just want to see a giant snapping turtle.
I'm stealing my chair back. Stan, do you want to take the camera for a second and show these people what you do here?
Hey, Gappy UK.
Sure.
Videos.
I thought that Stan could show you what he does here when he is working. Oh, over here at Still Beat. That'll turn it around.
So this is the, hi everybody, this is the back room, and this is what I do in here for the most part. I do a lot of our actual like fabrication of concept design, a lot of the product stuff. What you see here is, this is the Glow Forge, and we are cutting out sculpting tools right now for Monster Camp. A lot of what I do is to go through and I Alan gives tips and wants to know, like for instance, this is our soon-to-be paint labels. So we just got those done. We had a little meeting and made a few changes to them. So those are going to be the paint labels for the new paint that's coming out. And this is a finished. These are some sculpting tools that got cut out earlier. And those are dogs. And right now what I'm doing is I'm getting sculpting tools ready for Monster Camp with our. So for all the people that are coming, they'll be the first ones to get these. And that's just sort of a piece of it. There's a lot more to it. A lot of what I do is Alan sketches something out on a napkin or on a piece of paper sometimes and an idea. And I go to the computer and I take it from a sketch to something that we can use and that we can create things like this with. So horror, I designed the labels for these, I mean obviously with Alan's help. We sat down and sketched out some ideas, and I went into Photoshop and some other stuff, and I just made it pretty much from scratch. He gives his input on it, and we tweak what we need, and here it is. There we go, and
Okay.
now we're back. Apparently I was cutting in and out.
Did you show them the bottles?
I showed them the bottles.
Okay, great.
Very quickly. Hey, Horror, to answer your question,
Gotta enunciate that horror.
Horror Beauty. To answer your question, I use Illustrator a lot for what we start off with, and I also use Photoshop to fill in the gaps for things that Illustrator won't do. If we're going to do stuff on the laser cutter, then everything has to be an SVG file. So Illustrator makes that really, really easy.
Photoshop makes it really hard.
Yes.
Would you close that door, Stan? Your machine's noisy.
Does Monster Camp go on all year round?
So Monster Camp is a weekend event, and we do have them sort of all year round. The next one, we just sold one out in October, and then we don't have another scheduled yet, but we often do one in January.
Cobweb says, Monroe's helmet is effing badass. Sincerely, thank you for your work out.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because Stan worked on that. Yes, that's right.
Destructo dogs laying heat all chewed up boxes.
Yes. They're good at something. It's tearing stuff up.
Hey, baby BB Brown 0518 says, how's everyone doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. So tonight I am sculpting a snapping turtle monster. It won't be a straight snapping turtle. Early on in the days of lockdown, I was on an animal kick, and I did a lot of sharks, and I did a bear, and I just did some animals. And I did a piranha. So this will be a little, obviously it's going to be a mix of a fantasy person. It'll be a very anthropomorphized turtle.
Michael says, I love watching live sculpts from the start. Privileged to be here. Very fun.
Well, thank you. I like what I'm doing. Let's get you killed. Sculpting is one of my favorite things. I worked my butt off today to make sure I had that leach mold done so that I would be able to sculpt tonight.
Tell people that the video.
Oh yeah, we actually, yesterday, we just launched a new DVD of Scaring in a Post-COVID World. because it's hard for, haunted houses. The actors have to completely retrain in a lot of cases. What we were allowed to do before, we're just not allowed to do now. So I wanted to make sure that there was some training content out there for actors and owners. In all honesty, it's a different game.
Cat Swift, I just posted the link to Jack Frost. He's on the website. So
Yeah,
see him.
we keep Jack Frost sales kind of all year.
CEC Hangouts, looking to sculpt some pig heads out of aluminum foil. Any idea what to skin them with, or should I just scrape them?
Listen, right now I would skin them in underlayment. I've been using it for a while, but the way that it heat bonds together, it's just a great material. And it actually has a good feel for pig skin. You can heat set, it sticks together with heat. Just watch the ghost video that I did and watch how quickly that came together. And if you sculpt it in tin foil, when I had to do a bunch of pigs, I sculpted them out of mattress foam, and that worked. But now I would skin them in underlayment.
Crappy UK, I shall put another video on the dragon finish at this weekend, guys. Looking forward to seeing that dragon, Crappy.
Yeah, I want to see the dragon too.
Micro Halloween says, sorry my video cut out. Does Monster Camp happen all year round?
Monster Camp does happen all year round. Now, like not every month has a Monster Camp, obviously. We try to do 2 or 3 a year at least. I have a feeling the next one we do will be in January.
We have one in January that's already sold out.
Oh,
Maybe the second.
we have another one then.
I don't believe there's any other YouTube channel like this one, says one.
I don't know. I can't find it if there is. I mean, it's possible. I do a lot of fun, weird stuff. So.
DM Cash, will this be a moving job?
I think it kind of has to, doesn't it, to be a snapping turtle, or else it'll be a snapless turtle. No one wants that. I think we will try to incorporate a moving jaw in some capacity.
How many pounds of wet clay do you go through a month?
In a month, let's see, 1 to 2 sculptures a month. So, no, 1 to 2 sculptures a week. Maybe 300, 350 in a month. My garbage men hate me.
Chad Smith, I don't like to post too much personal stuff online, but this amongst friends. I would like to wish my loving, amazing, and beautiful wife a happy anniversary. She has put up with me for 20 years.
That is amazing.
That's fantastic, Chad. Congratulations.
Hold on. It's your anniversary and you're watching me on YouTube? Is she in the room at least? Like, it's 20-year anniversary. We're just going to watch YouTubes.
John C. says, he's not a monster, just a misunderstood turtle.
Well, I'm going to make him a monster.
Hey, Outrider.
And I'll be honest with you, when Chelsea was here, I kind of wished that she got Snapping Turtle because she has a style that I think it would do very well. And it's going to be a bit of a stretch for me to not figure this out, but I'm used to Carrie Munsters. I've done some fish and reptiles lately, so I'll probably be okay.
Celeste Kitty, my daughter is arguing with me and is demanding to come to Monster Camp. Do you train 11-year-old brats? And will it be half price?
Well, we actually have an observer spot, is what we call it, where maybe they're not going to do everything, but they can come and be with you and watch and learn. And if you and an observer want to share a mask and make a mask, that's possible. We've had that happen before. Would we take an 11-year-old? If you think that they would be able to focus for 12 hours of sculpting, like 12 hours right here on this sculpting, then yeah, you know your kid better than us. It's possible. I'm not going to say no.
Michael says, you're a very hard worker, Alan, and that becomes a little more evident when I try to copy a little of what you do.
Well, I am a hard worker. I haven't always been a good or efficient worker, but being a hard worker will get you there. I'm a model of success via not giving up. I'm not especially talented. I am especially stubborn.
Thank God, Lord. And I have first dibs on the purchase of this mask. I know I haven't seen it yet, but I have a feeling this will be the best. I'm just reading.
This looks like I harvested a cow pie right now. Come on now, wife, can you have first dibs?
Sure.
Okay, you got dibs.
Sure. Oh boy, let me make a note on that. You guys better work.
I am going to try and keep this tight. I don't want it to be a giant mask. I've been going a little big lately, and I want to. So I with all of this sculpting, I do try to work on things. You know, it's not. I'm not just repeating successes. I don't think you have. I don't think you learn a lot that way. So what I'm trying to do is be able to get as much character as I can and not have a piece be, you know, this big. Take off the wedding ring. That leaves an impression on the clay, that's why. Let's go over here, and we're gonna put my, I think you're looking at the TV now. We're gonna put my reference up there. Now I will lose seeing comments, so now if you want to talk to me, you've got to go through my wife.
Rome says, would you mold the big teeth on the pig mold separately, or do you think it would be a problem to keep them on?
If that big, I would probably mold them separate, simply because they are, you'll have to go in there to get them out. If you keep it chunky, you can do it. Getting them out of the mold is going to be the hard part. Removing the clay, that's it. Desktop, Wednesday sculpts. What I can do is I can move the pumpkin head mask into finished. That's exciting. Let's do this. Move the pumpkin head into finished. What else did I just do? Leech is now finished. And the Aztec tribal jaguar mask is finished. And we pull up.
Reptile cosplays are using to repair the mask with a black paint and silver dry brush to look metallic. Do you have any tips on how to make it look more realistic?
Can you read that one more time, honey?
I recently repainted a mask with black paint and a silver dry brush to look better. Do you have any tips that can make it look more realistic?
Yes, dry brush heavier. What happens a lot with metallics is that people will, they dry brush a little too light and it looks like a black thing with metallic highlights. Dry brush more and then, you know, really make it look like it's a metallic object with black grime on it. So you probably just don't have enough of the metallic color on there.
Ezekiel says the underlayment scenario has opened a whole new avenue for me. Thank you very much.
You know what? Just play with it. I swear it is really awesome stuff.
UK says I have a few pictures of the dragons on the Creepers page. Hey, Nicholas Blinter and Edson. Micro Halloween is going to try to come to a monster can. Top cosplay says turtles are my favorite. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it either.
Alan, what is your favorite whiskey? I will make some fudge accordingly, says Christina.
I don't know that I have a favorite whiskey. Like again, I'm not a huge drinker, but I would probably try. There was some butter pecan whiskey, I think it was, that my wife.
Do you like James?
Jameson is a good whiskey, but I think I want flavor in it.
Is your snapping turtle going to look anything like Tonka from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Chad says, thanks everyone. We spent the day together. We're watching Alan together. Maybe congrats should go to me. Heartfelt apologies to her. Warmonger, the Pumpkinhead mask is my favorite Alan Pistol.
Thank you.
Good night, big dog.
Okay, so the Taka references that I'm getting are a little cartoony, in all honesty. Now, granted, it's from a cartoon. I'm aware, but I don't want that capacity for comedy in this mask. I want one a little closer to this guy.
There's a question on what were the choices on paper.
So the choices were Clawful, Triclops, Grizzlor, Neanderthal, Snapping Turtle, Simian Ape Creature. Did I get them all? Did I remember the whole set?
Would the underpayment work for corpse?
It can, but it's pretty smooth skin. I mean, you have to heat gun it, and you're going to have to distress it to make it look chewed up and zombie, you know?
Hi all, glad to catch a live stream. Actually live versus the usual recording. Homesick, just cold. Got a few person who says Greg. Have you tried Screwball peanut butter whiskey?
No, I have not. Like I don't like stand around drinking a bunch of whiskey. Like that's not what I do. So no, I probably have not tried it. Like I don't even know what gin tastes like. I don't know what like half of like the regular alcohols. I'm just not a drinker.
I have a feeling Alan will be a schnapps fan just because there's so many flavors.
That's a possibility.
Walker says, I want a clawful, but the rest of the creepers told me to get bent.
They probably did, yes.
Rob, you didn't get a notification?
Sorry, Rob. I will send you two a strongly worded letter.
Have you tried bonding the underlayment with pool noodles?
Yes, works great.
Rodney Pope says, Jägermeister is my go-to.
I like Jägermeister because it tastes like cough syrup. And I think some cough syrups are delicious. Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, see, his head looks too much like a beak to me a lot of the time. And you know what? This is my favorite sculpting tool. A Google image search is my favorite sculpting tool, so be aware of that. You guys think that right now, you know, I'm kind of messing around on the computer. I am getting ready to sculpt, and I'm trying to narrow down the design language, the form language that I'm going to use on this sculpture. And images are how you do that. I'm not going to copy anything exactly, but I do want to, I want to have a good idea as to what that general head shape is. What details am I going to pull in later once I get past primary and secondary forms? And all that stuff you find in these image searches.
O'Brien says, what's the sculpt for tonight?
It is a snapping turtle monster. It is a snapping turtle monster.
Tess Alligood says hello.
Hello.
Stacy says, I was excited to see that Dollar Tree has Halloween colored pool noodles.
Really?
What?
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
And let's pull in one reference from the movie figure here.
Christina, you for Monster Camp, you pay for your hotel and your transportation.
Yes.
You don't have to stay at the host hotel. You can stay wherever you want. But if you stay at the host hotel and you need a shuttle to and from the workshop, we can provide that if you stay at the host hotel. If you have a different place you want to stay and you have your own transportation, perfectly fine. But you handle your transportation and your hotel.
And we're going to do a couple actual snapping turtle heads because I can't wait to paint this. See, that's what's funny is sculpting this is one thing, but when I get to painting it, I know it's going to really be nice.
Mr. Cool says Spike from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might be a character reference that you like. Rob O'Brien says, oh hey, I just got a notification. I guess a stern talking to and glaring worked.
Yeah. All right, so now we're done on the internet.
Reptile Cosplays, glad I can help influence your sculpt a little. Well, there's a big conversation going on about Jägermeister.
Of course there is. And now I'm doing a slideshow.
He says, I wouldn't mind getting some shine. John C., do you like beer made of pops? Celeste Kitty says, Karma and me both said you are wrong at the same time about cough syrup comments. It's delicious.
It's delicious cough syrup.
Hey, Harry Beastie. So I wonder how many people will want snapping turtle gamma molds. Models, I'm sorry. Models.
Why did all of these turn sideways? Like, what did I do wrong?
Godzilla's Nemesis Turtle Monster.
Gambara.
How much to spend a day playing with dogs and kitties? John C., that's not what you're here for. That's part of the package.
Okay, I have my slideshow going on my computer. It's hard to get a slideshow up on the big monitor. You know what? I can hit duplicate. That's what I'll do. I'll duplicate.
Did you put teeth on a piece of clay and then mold it, or what? Says Reynolds.
You mold them sticking up. Yes, you would do that. Give them some gums. Do that. Anybody know what F key it is for display options? I'm bad at computing. Sorry.
Hey, El Mantra. Tessie Cunningham. There it is. Why? Well, that's what it said, Tessie. It said Alligood. Tessie, good to hear from you. Stacy says you put it on slideshow and not slideshow Z. Cat Swift says Shannon watched the statue base video, looking good, great looking kitty. Nice fat belly to rub. Which kitty was this? We got it. Okay. 135 people are watching.
Okay, they're watching me mess on a computer, but I just figured it out. Now I can do it.
Yay!
Yes!
Look at you.
Now I have a big slideshow. I have a big slideshow.
Oh, Cat, that's Tuxedo. He is our senior pet. He is a big old boy.
Now I have references.
He is a very soft, laid-back kitty. Christina, the mascots are good. The doggos are asleep here on the floor, and the cats are probably hunting. Tuxedo is probably asleep on the couch. Ben says, Alan, these are cool, real giant alligator snapping head turtle images online.
Yes, I really love snapping turtles. I used to have some turtle pets. I used to work at a park called Gatorland in Orlando. We had some big turtles there. So,
Oh, Cat, yeah, he's still. Oh, Cat, you're talking about the original statue video, and Tuxedo was in that one.
oh, okay.
Yes, Cat, he's great. Tuxedo is
Still kicking.
Is he 10?
He's 10 years
He's
old.
10 years old, and he's the master of the house. He's great. He's on our website. You'll see a picture of him because he's a man.
He is the friendliest to the dogs of all the cats. Like he really, well, yeah, they're all pretty friendly.
Tessie says, watching while working, just finished up the 13th game order. Good
Awesome.
job, Tessie. Snapping Turtle won bingo, Justin.
That's right. Snapping Turtle was the winner. Tapping
Yeah, Cat,
Snurls.
he's doing good. He is an excellent kitty. Realm says, will spray way silicone spray release agent work with plaster to work to not let the clay not stick so much?
I would use Pledge. I would use Pledge furniture polish as a release from clay to plaster. How goes it, Stan?
Stan!
Stuff's done for Monster Camp.
Awesome.
Oh,
Okay, right now I'm just smoothing out. I want everything to be smooth and even so that as I sculpt it, I will be able to,
okay.
you know, as I sculpt it, I can keep it nice and tight and things will be even.
They're not bad. They are bad. Look at you. Stan. Mike Murphy says, Alan, please sing something I need to drink.
Oh my goodness. You can't just go around requesting. There's not a lot of like turtle.
For the moment, or else
There's not a lot of turtle songs that, you know what I mean? There's the band The Turtles. Like, did the Turtles sing All the Leaves Are Brown?
Oh, that's
All the leaves are
no,
brown
no,
on a winter's
no, that's
day.
California Dreamin'.
I'm trying to hook up Mike.
That's
I thought the Turtles did that one.
no, they do So Happy Together.
So happy
There you
together.
go. All right, Frank Mike, that's enough.
I don't know any more of that song. Like, that's all I know.
Do we get to play with
What-
the doggos here at Monster Camp? Absolutely.
Yes. Wasn't that the theme song to Bosom Buddies? So happy together.
I was like a year old.
Killing me song. Celeste, the dogs will be where you guys are, and they'll probably be doing just what you're doing tonight, which is laying on the floor.
Yeah, they'll be chilling.
Doing absolutely nothing. Hello from Oklahoma, watching while I work on a thrift flip cosplay from Ricky Soaps.
I love that.
Cool, thanks, Ricky. Enigma, will smooth on polyfoam stick to itself, and how much time do I have to order the batch on the current one before it won't bond?
It will stick to itself. The problem is you just have to make sure it's free of dust, because that surface will really grab dust, and then the next batch of foam will grab the dust and not the foam, and it will come undone, kind of. So, yeah.
Justin Filer says I just finished my first coat of orange and red paint for 2 Hocus Pocus cages. Again, can't thank you enough.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm glad of that.
Realms would like to know, can the pledge be the spray or not? And if so, can I use it? Can I use an off-brand?
I believe that you can use an off-brand, and I use the spray exclusively. Realms, I'm very excited that you're making masks. That makes me very happy. Anybody out there who is making masks, you're making me happy. The world just needs more monsters. That's how I feel about things.
Chaos Runner Nightwings. Whatever stream comes on. Mom and I yell at each other from across the house at the crazy Halloween people.
I've been called worse.
California dreaming by the mamas and papas, says Bill.
I don't know if that's accurate.
Christopher says about the Gamma theme song.
Gamma is really neat. Gamma's full of turtle meat.
Celeste Kitty says, pay over 1,000 to play with doggos and accomplish nothing. I'm okay. Warmonger says, put that metal kidney away and use your own brand of tools.
You know, that's what I was looking for first. I couldn't find it.
I'm bright green, dude.
Well, I know they're bright green. Not all of mine are bright green. Some of I get the test ones. I don't get all the fancy new tools, Stan.
Bright green, dude.
I go to get a new set. He's like slaps my hand. These are for customers.
No, that's right. Don't.
This is for money.
These are for closers.
Do not take new stuff just because you can't buy it. It's not in there for.
What? Thanks. Was that in there the whole
Like
time?
right there.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
I have those bags numbered, by the way.
Oh, boy.
I got you been snipping the stuff.
Skimming the top.
Harvey says Bosom Buddies theme was My Life by Billy Joel.
Oh. They're very similar songs.
1980 says I'm doing dishes, making my life.
Hooray.
Alan, does latex stick better to EVA foam or contact? I'm trying to stick a latex mask to an EVA foam helmet.
I would use contact cement. I would not use latex.
Do you have any kind of a mask?
Hold on. Latex is actually a pretty bad adhesive. It's not a good adhesive. It's only a good adhesive because it makes a mechanical bond very easily, but lots of other things can do that also.
Very Flanagan, do you have any kind of mask with a lot of teeth that could work for a tooth fairy haircut?
Yeah, I do. How's that for a tooth fairy? Yeah. Anyway, there's that.
Can anyone tell me about this stream? Is this a monster workshop thing, and do they market stuff? I literally found this channel and subscribed today. I love the tutorials. This is Kaz Z.
Hello, Kaz Z. I guess I could tell you about the channel, but I may not be the best at it. Well, okay. So really, my channel is a little bit difficult, simply because what I normally do, no, scratch that. A big part of what I do is a video every Wednesday called YouTube Wednesday, where I do a how-to that is either Halloween related, haunted house related, or sometimes mask related or costume related. All of those things, or special effects related. I do how-to videos for those. But I also run a company, Sculpting Studios, that I make costumes and masks and things for haunted houses. I also do actor training for haunted houses. I do a lot of haunted house stuff. So it may be that you enjoy some of the things that I do, but not everything. But every Wednesday, I do a live stream where I am sculpting. And I think that my job right now is to decide on the profile. So all I'm going to do is work on the profile of this sculpture.
Brown says that he loves his Beast Effects sculpting trays.
Hooray! I'm also a fan. They came about because I used to make the same tools over and over again out of popsicle sticks, tongue depressors actually, and yeah. So I'm just building up like a knife edge down the middle of the face, but that knife edge is going to tell me what the profile looks like. And from the profile, I can figure out a lot of other stuff. And if you might see me looking up that way, that's because that's where my reference material is.
Thank you, Scott Bullhart. Posted the creeper, the Leech Lord for Barry.
And I could paint that however you want it. let me know how you want it painted.
What's that? So Celeste said she'd pay $1,000 to hang around and pet the dogs and do nothing. I get paid to sit here and play
Yeah.
with the dog and do nothing. Awesome.
If you come to Monster Camp and you are allergic to dogs and cats, probably should not come to Monster Camp.
You are wrong.
Or you should take some kind of medication that allows you to be around such things and not die. Because we have some very fun pets.
So again, all I have built is the profile. All right, I tried to build that right down the middle of the face. Pretty good. And now I'm going to fill out.
Nicholas says, I can already tell this is going to be awesome.
See, so that's all I did. See that I made a knife blade, but it has the profile that I want. Now it's going to be easier for me to just start filling in, and then I'll know where things land.
Rodney Pope, will we be able to purchase the new sculpting tools at Monster Camp this weekend?
It's possible. I'll have to talk to Stan.
Kaz C says, we'll have to check everything out. Halloween is like my Christmas time. Very serious stuff. People drive out of their way to my street just to trick or treat at my place.
That's excellent.
That is awesome.
Kaz, what tutorial did you see for the first time today? Like, what was the first video of mine that you saw? Because it might not even have been a new video. It could have been an old one.
Warmonger says, I just show up here for the free food. Stacy says, Alan, you hit 43,000 subscribers.
Yes, I have 43,000 today.
Michael says, this is why I watch you. Realm says, how would you go about taking the teeth off and on to clay so they are easy to put back in? And would you just do the big ones or four small teeth and big teeth?
Just the big ones. And you just cut them off and then mold them separate. Don't make it harder than it is. Just start doing it. But get your sculpture done first. Once you take off the tooth, sculpt a little socket.
Kaz says, the very first video was the 55-gallon drum, Hocus Pocus hanging cake.
Oh, very fun.
Mr. Jimmy would like to know what you're sculpting.
Mr. Jimmy, I am sculpting a snapping turtle monster. And Mr. Jimmy, I just want you to know, I did unfriend you on Facebook. It was nothing personal. There was just a picture that you posted that I'm very careful of what I see in my feed, and that was pretty gross. I've also unfriended someone earlier today because he posted a video of a man jumping in a lake and then pooping. And then all of the poop floated up. I'm like, well, I don't want to see that on a regular basis. So, just so you know, it's not personal. I'm not mad at you. We just don't like to look at the same things is all.
Kaz says, actually, it was the Tomb Ghost thing. You were updating it or making a new version.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then you fell down a rabbit hole.
If the Neanderthal ever wins and after you make a normal one, you should make a zombified one. It says lemon lime.
Well, yes. I mean, from once I have the sculpture, I can do a lot with it.
Ezekiel says, the Minister of War and Finance demands I watch all the live streams. It keeps me and the kids super busy. Mr. Jimmy says, no worries.
Yeah, that's all. I do think that you should explain that to people sometimes. And, and friends on Facebook does not have any bearing on friends in real life. You know?
People Spencer says, trust the rabbit hole.
Friends you talk to at parties, you might not want to be friends with on social media. Because they want to look at different pictures than you.
Mr. Jimmy says, at least you didn't block me.
And Jimmy likes to look at pictures of really dirty underwear. Like, I was about to eat a sandwich. Blue. Yes. Yeah. No, I did not block you. at this point in time. Okay, so I did that, and now I'm just building up to this so that this makes sense. And then I'll smooth out again. And then I will start justifying the shape and the anatomy. I don't see a lot of cheekbones on my references. I see a slight cheekbone back here happening. You guys can tell I've already chosen to put that turtleneck, up here. So the face is actually going to be a little bit smaller. That's going to help me keep it small. If this was all head, then it would be massive.
Say hi to Masato K.
Hello, Masato K. Good to see you on, sir. One of the things, was it someone Z? Z someone was a new person?
Kaz Z.
Kaz Z. Kaz, on the stream, there are a number of very talented artists who, not just myself, there are lots of people on here who do art in many different ways. We have talented musicians, we have talented illustrators, painters. Mr. Jimmy is a fellow mask maker. He is also very good. So it's not just me. There are lots of folks on here. I know that sometimes on a live stream, maybe you'll ask a question about a process or a technique. And on some live streams, you can't necessarily trust the answer. I feel pretty good about you trusting the answers here, even if someone else gives it to you, because there's a lot of folks here who know what they're doing. They are from all over the world. See how this is building out, and I'm building it out into the turtle. I got the silhouette down, or else I would waste a lot of time figuring out the forms if I didn't do that. I feel.
Alan, this is Michelle Schulte. Alan, I know you have the new training DVD out, and I saw that it mostly for pro haunts. Will you have anything for yard haunts? Can the principles in the DVD be used for yard haunts?
They can. It depends on how the yard haunt operates. Does the yard haunt operate like a pro haunted house in the sense that groups of people go in? In all honesty, yard haunts have an innate advantage because a lot of the times it's more display, it's smaller numbers of people. Maybe you are doing thousands of people at your yard haunt, but still that's not going to be, the 7,000 or 8,000 that may show up to a pro haunt on a busy Saturday evening. But mostly I wanted to address the pro haunts who just aren't getting enough information, or they're going on the wrong information. And truthfully, one of the things that video is, and what she's mentioning, is she's referring to a video called Dynamic Scaring in a Post-COVID World, which just came out yesterday. And it's so that because a lot of the pro haunted houses are having to, Stan, you want to sit down?
Michelle says they have about 200 to 300 on a busy night, and they have 3 sections. Right, school, Stan.
You may get something out of it.
Ezekiel is wondering the same thing. It's something else.
Is there information in there that you can use? Yes, there is. There's even a couple prop tutorials in there because social distance props are going to be pretty big this year. We've talked a little bit about that here on the channel. But basically it's many haunted houses are having to turn in a sheet of like, here's the 12 things that I'm doing, here's the 15 things I'm doing, here's the 30 things that I'm doing in order to be safer this season. Well, as soon as you buy this DVD and you show it to your actors, you have another bullet point to put on that list. So that's a technique, that's a step you're taking to be a safer show. And we need all of those that we can kind of get. And we need a little bit of straight talk in our industry about the whats and the whys. Stan, did you think I'd be sculpting a turtle this evening?
I did not.
How hard are you kicking yourself that you didn't pick Hordak? Because of all that lot, I think Hordak had a good shot.
Hordak had a good shot, but you know what? I think what's great is Hordak will happen.
Yeah.
He's coming.
Is that
Oh, he will.
cheer for?
Oh, that's whenever we go off to what is it called, PowerCon.
PowerCon, yes.
I'm going to be Hordak. Alan has a plan that we're going to.
We're going to go to a convention called PowerCon.
Yep.
We're going to be dressed up as He-Man villains, and any He-Man there like to take pictures and cosplay. We're just going to go kind of rough them up, you know, and push them and stuff. It's going to be a great time.
It'll be fun.
What's funny is I'm saying this like a year in advance,
Right.
and I have no doubt that I'll get to the convention, someone's going to walk up and say, listen, don't you mess with no He-Man.
We're going to be a gang of toughs.
Mm-hmm.
I get thrown out. What kind of clay are you using? And a moist pottery clay X 15-ish? This is good to use space.
So normally I use WED. This happens to be WMD 21, but it's just a water-based clay. It is a low-cone, non-firing clay without grog, if you want the specifics. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just even this up a little bit. Okay, my nose is a little off center.
Barry Flanagan, there is a digital download. I just sent you the link. Reptile cosplay. My haunted house is still on the fence about opening, but we had actors auditioning and are only having 20 actors throughout Waverly Hills.
Yeah, many people are doing that, and I recommend that any actors you don't use outside, you put on queue line control. Because the worst thing that's gonna happen to haunted houses this season is that guests will not be social distancing in the queue. Other guests are gonna take pictures of that, and it'll be all over social media. And the next thing you know, your Facebook reviews and Google reviews will not be about your show. They will be about a lack of social distancing in the queue line that haunted houses really haven't had to control their queue line before. Frankly, haunted houses suck at controlling their queue line. Not where it goes, but how often do haunts allow drinking in the queue? How often do haunted houses allow smoking in the queue? Those kind of things. We have to get better at that. And it's not as a simple matter of saying, well, it's not our responsibility. We told them to social distance. That's unacceptable. You are talking about a virus that kills some number of people. It doesn't matter what that number is.
Cass C would like to know, how do you test your heat guns?
I test my heat guns with my hand. You got to make sure they're hot before you start using them.
Michelle says, thank you, but demo after the show.
Now these guys do have, most of the ones I'm seeing have a little bit of a forehead. So I'm going to bring in a forehead element. And I'm going to do that by building up a brow ridge and then leveling off.
Crypto Knight says, King Hawks,
Oh, easy with that.
are you going to call this sculpt air harvester?
You know what? I haven't even started thinking about that. I'm busy worrying about whether or not he has cheekbones. How far back do the brow bones go? Right now I'm kind of defining borders and edges of his face. And I don't think he's going to look like most of the reference, but I think he's going to be, hopefully his own thing, very much turtle inspired, but also a monster.
What if instead of the neck wrinkles on top of the head, you add neck folds below the head, kind of like a turtleneck circle?
The problem is, well, a person's chin goes in here, but our neck comes out this way. So you have to cut that out anyway for a person to wear this.
Yes.
Yeah, so while that would make a nice sculpture, it's not going to make a nice mask. And that's a very important delineation, that there are things that I do that are for the mask, not for the sculpture. If that makes sense.
Please get some clips of you guys roughing up cosplayers.
That's the plan.
Ezekiel says, put me on the list of the Masters of the Universe bad guys. Give Herman Heaps conviction. Nemesis RR says you drink too much soda.
They do. You're right.
1980 says, where will the actor look through on this one? With it having a long snout.
You know what? I actually don't know yet. What I am doing is I'm sculpting the mask first, and I'll kind of figure out eyes. That was the advice that I gave Chad Smith about his dinosaur. Sculpt the mask and then figure out vision. Not after it's all done, but once your primary forms are in and you're working on your secondary forms, that's when I really think you should start thinking about vision. Like how am I going to see? What I think I'm gonna do is do a big area for screen, that is the eye socket, and then put a fake eye in up here. But this is all screen, and then there's a fake eye that has focus, but you can see out of all the area around it. That's my thought right now, but I don't know how that will change as time goes on.
Michelle Schulte says, I see another video coming unless there's something about keyline actors in the other videos I missed.
There's going to have to be more videos on the COVID stuff, simply because you can't cover it all. My video is an hour and a half long. It's just over an hour and a half long, but honestly, I'm only touching the surface of stuff that we have to talk about. But it's important to get videos and training materials out there so that authorities, i.e. fire marshals, public health officials, so they realize that we are taking this seriously. And that's one of the reasons why I made the video.
How's the thumb, Alan?
The thumb is great. I did not reapply super glue today. It's holding itself on its own, so it's fine.
Stan has to go. Say goodnight.
Good night, Stan.
Good night, Stan.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for all your hard work today.
I'll see some of you at Monster Camp on Saturday.
Saturday Monster Camp.
Yeah.
So we'll be here Saturday and Sunday.
You know what? You would think that a
That's great.
snapping turtle has bigger jaw muscles, but they all happen back here and they come in this way. So you don't have a big bulge of a jaw like you do on like a hyena or something. So very interesting head structure. They save a lot of room in their head because they don't have giant brains. And this needs to be a little sharper. Oh, that feels better.
THX1101 says hello all. Hello, Wolfie.
Hello. That is my buddy John.
Would you ever be interested in making a shell to go with that mask?
Yes, I actually have a video where I'm making a kappa, K-A-P-P-A. That is a Asian creature. That, see how much that brow right there brought it closer to turtledom? I make a kappa for my monster museum, and I make a shell in there, and I use liquid nails on top of EVA foam, I believe, in order to shape that shell. This is coming along a little quickly, which is good. Let's go ahead and let you guys see it from a different angle.
Barry says, yes, that mask will work for my tooth fairy.
Cool.
Good night, Field Walker Masks. It's 2:35 a.m. here in Scotland. Good night.
Good night.
Kathy, you pay. I know we don't do politics on here, but if all the world leaders just put half the passion Alan has about his work, that would be a better.
Well,
That's very certain.
that is a very kind thing to say. And I am fairly passionate about my work. I'll let you have that one. Yeah.
Warmonger says, nobody cared who I was until I had to switch to a mask. Nicholas says, Alan, what is a good price for me to sell a full head mask with bib blank for?
It depends on how good the sculpt is. I mean, what are the materials that it's made of? Did you have to hair it?
It's latex.
Yeah. It depends. I mean, a full head mask, I start at $100. Now, I'm in a position where there are some folks know me. I've been selling for a long time, and I have a full shop and I have expenses. I'm aware of that. So maybe you can come in cheaper. That's fine. I don't want this mask to become like massive. So I'm considering every bit of real estate that I'm putting on this.
What are you drinking in the OT cup? We know it's not Dr. Pepper unless you have an airbrush.
That is actually Coke Zero. I don't drink regular sodas anymore. Haven't for a while. But I do drink Coke Zero, and I drink too much of it.
1980 says you're thinking about whoa, like a slit in the lower eyelid back screen to mask the eyes.
No, not a slit. Like I'm thinking a whole area like this, okay, is screen. On top of that, I glue an eye right there. So I've got this black that I can paint, but it is a whole recessed area, which should give great vision. But I've got a nice realistic eye right there also.
Do you do international shipping with your mask?
We do. We just shipped out a Krampus today to the UK.
But Halloween, Kieran, just so you know, what we do is, depending on where you are and what you order, we go ahead and make the order, and then we have it weighed to find out what the difference is and what the additional shipping is, and then we send a PayPal invoice for the additional shipping.
Right.
Because we never know how much it will be depending on what you order and where you are. But the answer is yes, just there's some extra steps to it. Cat Swift, watching today's video, finger covered in tape. Did you cut another finger?
It's not important.
Alexander Castle says this is looking awesome.
Hey, thanks, Alex.
More longer, just a quick tip, never bake cookies directly after broiling steaks. Family's very angry.
Bet that tasted awesome.
Spastic Pug says hello and wants to know what you're sculpting.
I'm sculpting a duck. This duck is a scary duck that it's going to be a snapping turtle monster, is what it is.
Enigma says latex mask, no hair, standard Enigma style sculpt. Okay, we're going to back up because that was part of another long, it's part of it. What would a good price for me to sell a full head mask with a bib blank force, a latex mask? This is Enigma.
I would start at $100, and then is this mold heavier than all the others? You have to compensate yourself for that a little bit. So maybe then that adds on $20. There's factors.
What have you based your sculpt off of?
I have references going right now. I have a big TV right there with different references that I have pulled, and they're on a slideshow. So I'm going through this slideshow while I'm sculpting, and I'm just taking little bits. I'm taking cheekbones, I'm taking jawbones, I'm taking the angle of the eye, the brow ridge, all of those things I'm looking at while I'm sculpting, and I'm getting a amalgamation of them.
People were half as patient as Alan, the world would be a better place. Thanks, Alan, for inspiring me to be more patient, calm, and dealing with others.
Patience is a useful skill. I didn't learn patience until I was management. And then it's amazing how many problems kind of work themselves out if you just let them. I think a big part of it is you think you have to act now on everything. And then, how small would that problem be if you were looking at the Earth from space?
59 Mars, I hope I said that right, N-A-R-Y-C. I just found this terrific. I'm assuming you do these on Wednesday nights.
I do these on Wednesday nights. Sometimes there's 2 of us in here. We have a monster camp coming up this weekend where I'll have 6 students here in the shop, and that's this weekend. So I don't want to make a lot of work for myself as far as having to mold this stuff. So tonight it's just me, and maybe next Wednesday I'll do a guest sculptor.
So I must go now, but I have subscribed, so when you do more of these, I will be back. Glad I found you.
Excellent. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little while.
Stacy would like to know, did that mold behind you slip?
It's just laid on its side, that's all. It's not bad. Boy, and I am amazed at the lack of jawbones on these turtles. And I don't know that I can do it. I don't know that I can let this be and not put a big old jawbone on this. To me, that's how I visually identify bite force. But to me, I think one of the things about animals is they're going to eat me. That's like the key fear thing. So, and because I identify bite force with a jaw, I'm going to have to put one on here.
Celeste Kitty says, make the nostrils noticeable. So many people leave them out or they're barely there.
Well, most turtles have, big nostrils right up, not big, but, 1/4 inch. Yeah, they'll have nostrils. I'm not afraid of nostrils. I ain't scared. See, I'm putting that on pretty large, and then I'm smoothing it in, so it gets smaller that way. And then I'll be raking all of this down here very shortly. I want to see what these forms are that I've got.
Justin Filer says you should get Coke Zero to sponsor the channel.
Well, that would be lovely.
Tony B, I'm about to foam fill some masks. Did the fence post mix that you used for Home Depot hold up well over time?
Yes, it did. Held up great over time. It gets harder and harder as time goes by. It's like they're filled with concrete now. Lightweight concrete.
Lisa is worried that the mold might slip further.
No, it's like laying down right now.
Lisa, did you get your
It's that.
notification that you're... Go ahead, sorry.
It's that right there.
You got your notification that your, excuse me, coordinator shipped today. I'm hoping it's the shop ghost did that. Spastic Pug says, I like turtles.
I like turtles.
I like turtles. Can you pour latex rubber in a mold made for ceramics?
Yes, you absolutely can. And I have done that. I have I have a bunch of ceramic baby molds that are plaster meant for making ceramic babies, dolls. So yes, you can, and yes, I have.
Nicholas Binter says it kind of looks like a Freddy worm from Freddy versus Jason.
The nose is much pointier.
Monster Misfits says hello.
I just got up and I forgot why. Like it was important. Had to be.
Finn says this mask will look great foam-filled mounted on a wall plaque, kind of like cobwebs did with Chuck.
Yes, yes it would. Wife, it's time for you to tell a story. Tell a quick story. Tell about how good the mask lab is.
Oh my gosh, Mask Lab. Okay. This is helpful because a few people have written and asked some Mask Lab questions. Mask Lab and Airbrush Lab weekend. So Mask Lab is going to be in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. That is October 3rd and October 4th. And Mask Lab is we're going to have blanks, like all these blanks you see here. Everything that is blank canvas. Of course, we got a lot of worms there, but just all the different things there. And we're literally going to have them, you get to choose what you want to do. And then when you get here, we already have it based out for you, and we have everything set up. And then you get to paint and work the airbrush, work the dry brushing, and everything else. And you get to basically you finish with a finished mask that you designed. So we bake the cake, and you get to frost it. And then Airbrush Lab is Sunday, so some people are doing like a weekend. And Airbrush Lab is learning speed drills, learning how to take an airbrush apart and back together again, learning how to work it, how to fix it, how to unplug it, and to get the results you want. And we feed you, and it's from 9 to 5 on both days, and it's a lot of fun. So we hope you guys can come join us. There you go.
I thought, since we were pointed to this side of the room, I'd show you a werewolf foot that we took out of the mold. Remember the werewolf foot that I sculpted on top of the stilt? So this is
Gregory's foot.
Gregory's foot. Here are the claws. And there's a little bit of cleanup to do. I haven't seamed it or anything yet, but this is the foot. The back of it right here is where the bow will come out. The black bow of the bouncing stilt comes out and attaches up here, and the toe of the shoes are actually in this kneecap.
Crypto Knight, looking to pour up a mask in vinyl, like an old paper magic mask. Do you know how I can do this? Maybe naphtha and Benoit caulk. Also, would I need vinyl-based paint to paint it?
You can actually paint vinyl with a urethane. That's one of the few things that stick to vinyl. Hot glue sticks are actually hot melt vinyl also. So any paint, you can test your paints on hot glue sticks. But I would just buy a hot melt vinyl and do it that way. But normally at that point, you're talking about metal molds, which are made in tanks, where you're, it's a complicated mold process, but cool. I haven't done vinyl any other way.
Noseblood says it's impossible to get the foot or leg.
Like the werewolf foot? No, because in order to pour that up, it is a very complicated pour. So it would be very expensive. It'd be far easier for me to sculpt a new one and do it that way.
Gregory Haynes says, yay, it's surviving werewolf foot. Can't wait to see how it's put together with foam and finishing.
Yeah, they're gonna look pretty good.
Will you be broadcasting Monster Camp live?
No, we don't broadcast Monster Camp live because there's so much for people to think about and worry about. I don't want people to worry about that or have to think about it. So no. But also, people pay to come to Monster Camp. So I don't want to necessarily give that experience away for free because it's not fair to the folks who paid for it. And Monster Camps are one of the things that we do to kind of keep our shop afloat in these crazy, crazy times. So I don't want someone to think I don't need to come to Monster Camp because I've seen all the live videos. If that makes any sense. Yeah, now we'll do a couple little live feeds, but the whole thing will not be broadcast.
Finn says that foot leg turned out awesome. Looks like it's thick.
Yeah, I did a 3-hour dwell on it.
Ezekiel says, I got some of that tape we recommended to attach horns. Was wondering if I can paint over them. They are super sticky.
They are super sticky. And what I do is I put a little bit of a baby powder on a chip brush, and then I powder them so they're not so tacky, and then I paint them.
145 people are watching.
Hello, 145 people.
Celeste Kitty says, plus people can steal original ideas if we stream Monster Camp.
Well, I'm not so worried about that. I mean, that's not how I operate. I'm in the business of making videos all the time. That the whole goal is for people to recreate it. You know, look at how many awesome cages we're seeing. So now someone else in Monster Camp may not feel that way. That's possible. I remember what I got up for. I got up for my glasses because I need them, and I got them.
Nemesis RR, is there a Monster Camp in Philadelphia, or does anyone do what you do in the Philadelphia area?
I don't believe so. Monster Camp is here in Texas, and it doesn't matter where you are, come to Monster Camp. People have come from Maine in the same class. We've had California and North Carolina. It doesn't really matter. Come here. This is where my shop is. This is where all the stuff is. I have all the tools that we need. I have, whatever we need to finish your vision. I've got it here in the shop. So it's very hard to take something like this on the road. So that's why I do them here in the shop here in Texas. And yeah, come see us. It's an experience, Don't get me wrong, but that's kind of really the wrong attitude to have of, I want to do Monster Camp if it's convenient. And that's kind of one way that people get weeded out. Because, okay, you want to do Monster Camp if it's convenient. Well then, it's not a habit of mine to doubt someone's passion, and I certainly should not compare folks to me and how I think and how I operate. I drove a moped from Baltimore, Maryland to Orlando, Florida to work at a year-round haunted house. If you want to do it, man, find a way. And I have the shop, I have the knowledge and ability to instruct you. I'm confident in that. We have had lots of Monster Camp attendees. We've never had a mask that didn't happen or a failure. It is a very intense process, and it happens here in Texas. Right now, I don't know of anybody else doing it, really. Because, honestly, making a mask in 3 days is nuts. Pro mask makers think it's nuts. But we all do it. Everybody gets it done. And I have seen some really brilliant work come out of Monster Camp. I'm not a big talker about myself and my abilities, but I will gladly talk up Monster Camp because of how often I have seen people who have never made a mask before. And they come here and they turn out a mask that I would gladly put in my haunted house. I would gladly put on a shelf on my wall or put in my monster museum. It happens time and time and time again. And it's not about necessarily me as an instructor. It's about the environment that gets created when there are, 6 to 8 people all in the same room, all of the same mind and having the same vision and the same purpose, but different backgrounds and different styles. And you guys learn from each other as much as you will from me. So, no, there's not one in Philadelphia, I'm sorry. And Texas may not be convenient, but here's where it is.
What is the drying spray you mentioned when you were working on the A-block helmets? Stacy. Drying spray?
Drying spray?
You were working on A-block helmets.
I might have mentioned Japan dryer in case there's something that did not cure up. Oh, Japan dryer, yes. Yep, that's what I mentioned.
Are you putting teeth in the turtle necks?
You know what? Turtles don't have teeth, so I don't know yet. I don't know if this needs it. Every one of the anthropomorphized ones have teeth in there. They have like fangs. I don't know if this needs it yet. I'll find out if it needs it. But right now, I'm working on primary forms. The teeth are not a primary form, so I have time.
THX says, I'll take you up on that invite, Alan. Gregory Haynes, so Alan, you chose to switch techniques from slush to fill and dwell. Dwell has to be better, but I thought you couldn't do that way. You couldn't do it that way.
Well, see what time it is? It's 9:04. I think I can get where I need to go and show you, because the mold is a, let's just call it a feat of modern engineering. Your mold that was a 4-piece mold is now a 1-piece mold. I've actually plastered it all together. Here is the top, here's where the toe is, the toe of your shoe, and the knee is up here, and here's the werewolf's feet. If you look back here, I embedded in the plaster, right where it has to be cut out, the end of a Coke bottle. And what this allows me to do is this allows me to pour this up in such a way so that I can take the cap off, pour it up this high. No air is going to get trapped here as a bubble because the air gets to escape. And then we tighten this down and I can fill it all the rest of the way up to here, and you just paint up the knee. So dwelling is a better technique. It'll get me a thicker pull. So that's this guy right here. It's just very tricky. I also have to caulk it down to a flat board, and I have to let that caulking dry and trust that caulking to hold the weight of all this latex. So there you go. What else you got, wife?
Hello from Iraq.
Oh, hello in Iraq.
Let's see, Ellen, this is THX 11001.
Okay.
Do you think there will be a Halloween this 2020? I asked as in the business one.
Well, Halloween is a date on the calendar. It's October 31st. There will be a Halloween in the business point of view because checks will be written with the date October 31st on them. Things will happen. Some haunted houses we know are opening already across the country. Yes, of course there's going to be a Halloween. We cannot be stopped or contained. Hopefully we can be contained, just not stopped.
What are you sculpting tonight? It's just in reading.
It's a duck. This is very surprised. They picked a duck for me to sculpt today, and so that's what I'm making. It's a snapping turtle mask.
Warmonger says it's like a lottery for a chance to attend.
It's not that bad. It takes a couple days for them to fill up. You know, it's a commitment. You're talking about a whole weekend of your life, and not an insignificant amount of money. And those things have to line up at the right time. I get it. We actually we had a spot here because someone had to cancel last minute. They got ill, so we have a spot. Honey, do we have a spot open in this monster camp?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
so
a spot.
so the one this weekend happening Friday, we have a spot that's open. So it seems like they do sell out quickly, but then life happens. You know, look at what happened this year. I mean, we had to do 2 different monster camps to make up for the ones that had to cancel earlier in the year because of all the goings on of COVID. And right now, I'm just raking out this sculpture so I can kind of see the lines and get rid of things that are not on purpose. I want everything on this sculpture to be on purpose. I want the all the textures that happen not to be random the way the clay fell. I want all of the textures on here that are happening to be because I wanted them there. I saw them in reference and I made them happen. I do not want random texture. I don't want the clay to tell me what to do. I want to enforce my will upon the clay.
Celeste Kitty says, do you think you will have a monster camp during the Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival?
I have no idea when the Rocky Mountain Oyster Festival is.
1980 says, Grant's Farm is doing a drive-through Halloween this year according to your ad.
Several places are. Lots of places are.
Ezekiel says, could I use foam clay over the tape for horns on EVA home as well?
Yes.
Gregory Haynes, very cool, and thanks for the explanation. The Coke Zero bottle insert is a fantastic idea, and that makes it a two-phase mold.
Yes, I used to do big torsos, and when I did the big torsos, it was just a human torso, but I didn't need the neck stump because the head was covering it. So I didn't have to pick it up and drain it. I would put a soda bottle in the neck, and then I could fill it up, and then when I was ready to drain it, I just unscrew the bottle and have it set up high enough where a bucket can slide under it.
Do you believe in Bigfoot?
Yes. I do believe in Bigfoot, because I want to believe in Bigfoot.
Robbie says, I thought a job deadline was going to prevent me from coming to monster camp, but I've had to move mountains to get to this one.
Hooray!
Finn says, I wish I could go to monster camp, but I would have to quarantine for 14 days upon my return, according to the state mandate.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer that's in place. But, you know, keep looking at it because those get lifted and moved around. Texas is actually on quite the trend. We're on a good trend with fewer cases being reported. We've already hit the 2-week mark, and we're probably going to hit a 3-week mark in decline.
In one of your old videos, you talk about having the idea of a drive-through in one house, then realize how ridiculous it is years later it comes true.
Yeah, I know.
Hulu 2004, would you bring Monster Camp to a different area outside of Texas if offered an area and expenses?
The problem is going to be the expenses. A monster camp that I had to do somewhere else would cost almost double, simply because of, you know, what I have to have prepared and ready.
That's a big turtle. How much turtle soup would it make, says Sparrow's Cave.
It would make a bunch.
Justin Moody says, how expensive is resin mask compared to latex, and is there a customer base for it? I'm curious if it's really worth getting into.
There's a big customer base for them. But do you have ideas for resin masks? I think the ideas should come first and then see if it's worth doing. If you don't have ideas for resin masks, then just keep doing latex.
Every ancient culture on Earth has a Bigfoot story. Don't you need to split the latex and the wearable foot in order to put it around a stilt? How would you secure it to keep it from sliding off?
Well, it'll have foam in there, and that's one way. Or you could just unbolt the stilt, put it together, and rebolt. Those stilts are made to come apart, so there's a number of options.
1980 says, my job has the same restriction on travel. If I go to a hotspot, I have either quarantine or get a COVID test negative. Melissa Bracken says, Bigfoot believes in you.
Hooray! And she would know. Are you guys back home? Or are you guys still away? The museum. Melissa and her husband have a big, and forgive me if I say anything wrong, because you know I'm not smart. They have a Bigfoot museum, and they had to close the doors temporarily because of fires and smoke and relocation.
Hulu 2004 says, the customer base outside of Texas would be huge. Double the price would not be an issue. New on here. Mary Jordan says, I love the ghost video, and Melissa says, we reopen tomorrow.
Excellent. So glad to hear that. These are just ideas about where the nostrils will go.
THX says, ask him about breaking out in song of Look at Me, I'm Sandra D, and the Halloween Horror Nights commentary. What did you do?
I don't know. Lord, I don't know.
From Natalia, hi. He says, just chimed in, what are we making?
Duck. We're sculpting a duck. Look at this one beautiful duck that we're working on. It's a snapping turtle mask. This will be a snapping turtle monster mask type guy. And now I kind of have to... snapping turtles don't have huge eyes. I think I'm going to grab a little circular thing to just press an eye in.
Kirk says, that's what I thought, duck.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul Bennett.
It's only bad when someone says, oh, what are you sculpting? If you're like almost done, it's like, it's a T-Rex. Can't you tell it's a T-Rex? I'm almost friggin' done. Yeah. And I don't want to put these eyes exactly where the people's eyes are.
Do you think you'll give the turtle a tongue?
Yes. I think I will. I made sure the height was right from that side. Now I'm going to make sure it's far enough back from this side. Okay, let's look at that. Boy, this one looks different. Gotta get eyes even. Hey. I feel like this is turtley. I kept this a little more narrow. My friend Nick Herrera, who was on Naked Vegas and what was it, Paint Wars, and he was on Face Off. He was kicked off of Face Off because he did a turtle. So when I finish this, I'll have to tag him in a picture of it.
1980 says the right side socket looks shallow.
I think that's lighting.
Lisa says, totally turtle makes my camera hard happy. Kaz C says the driver's side eye looks higher. Catherine Dempsey, Pache airbrush, do you prefer nozzle 1, 3, or 5?
I use a 3 most of the time. That's in a VL, and it's also in a H.
If you had to give up one thing in the haunt industry, what would it be?
Spreadsheets.
Alan, the half man, half crab should be named Krabby Mike.
Okay.
And Sparrow's cake.
I will consider that when I make them. Is that like from a TV show or something, though? Because if it is, then I probably can't use it.
154 people are watching.
Hi, everybody. I'm just making a turtle monster. How's your day?
Got the
Any day I'm making a monster is a good day. I need to figure out what's happening here with the top jaw and the bottom jaw. I would love for this to be able to be a moving jaw mask, and that means I'm going to need a nice hard line of separation at some point. Let's go ahead and put that in.
Justin Murray says, my idea is using resin more for prop and busts. The mask that people or myself will wear, I want to stick to latex. If I have a bust, that foam-filled resin has a good looking feel. Sparrow's Cave says Krabby Mike's was the name of the bar in Scooby-Doo, Spooky Island.
Okay.
James Stevenson says hello. Barry Flanagan says, the mask you showed me, is it the Leech one on your website?
It is the Leech Lord, yes.
Hang on, Barry.
So also, guys, the Aztec Tribal Jaguar mask that I sculpted, or was that last week? I don't know, but I sculpted at some point in time. I don't have a name for that yet.
Chris Yule. Hey, Chris and Amber.
Hello, Chris and Amber Yule.
Hello, Amber and Chris. Chris says you're doing a great job on that frog.
Hey, thanks.
Alan, do you have a white whale project that you would like to do?
Okay, so I get that question a lot, and I hate to say the answer normally is no, because the projects that I want to do, I do. I don't have anybody telling me you can't do that. I'm blessed with a very supportive wife. I am blessed with haunt owners who kind of, some of them trust my opinions on what I make, and they're like, okay, well, we'll buy one. So I'm very blessed in that I am able to make what I want. So I don't have a lot of white whale projects. What I don't have a lot of is time. So I really want to make a nice Beastman costume for myself. Beastman from Masters of the Universe. He's one of my favorite characters ever. I haven't had a time to do that, but I have ordered all the parts.
Warmonger. Here in Pittsburgh, we have the Scare House. They say it was voted one of the best haunted houses in the country. Have you ever heard of them?
Yes, I'm actually pretty good friends with Scott, the owner of Scare House, one of the owners of Scare House. There's some partners. I went through there a couple Novembers ago, and yes, I'm very familiar with Scare House and their show, The Basement, that they do. That is a more different, more intimate haunted house type feel.
Jordan Bunce says it just hopped on. Great sculpt down.
Hey, thanks.
Tina Kusiak says I just walked away, walked back into the living room, and I could see Jonesy.
Hooray, Jonesy.
Squirrel's Cave, the Jaguar looks like Balthazar.
Balthazar.
As Ezekiel says, are we naming the Jaguar?
We can name the Jaguar tonight. We are now accepting name concepts for the Jaguar mask.
Michael says Jaguaztec. That's the wrong said it wrong. Let's see. What's your eyes and breathing plans for this turtle?
Well, the breathing is going to be pretty easy because I have a big old mouth. The eye plan is that I've made a little circle kind of where the eyeball goes. And one trick that you can do to tell if things are even is put your fingers on the same point and you will feel the difference. Like if one finger is higher than the other, you can feel it more easily than you can see it. And these feel pretty good. They look a little off, but they feel right. So, yeah, I don't feel like one is higher than the other. But anyway, there'll be a fake eye right here where that is. That fake eye is actually glued to window screen, which is in this section of the mask. So all of this area in here is that black window screen with the fake eye glued here. But the actor should be able to see out here and have great peripheral.
Could an EVA jawbone attached to a spandex headsock glued to the mask be rigid enough to allow mouth operation as the actor spoke?
Normally, yes. That is how Zagone Studios does a lot of theirs.
Names for Jinx, Raphael, Jaguar. My word for Jaguar is Balam or Balam. Jaguar. Lulay 2004 had purchased several sculpting items for my son. I'm now jealous and want the same for myself. So that we can sculpt together. We'll be purchasing the same. Super excited.
That's awesome.
Please do. That's a great thing to do. Jag name. Territorio.
Murder mittens. I like murder mittens.
Aztec War. Jaga Warrior. Moves like Jaguar. Jaguar. Shredded, infused with Raphael. Alan, how about rigor mortis tortoise for the snapping turtles?
Rigor mortis tortoise. We're not naming him yet. We're going to focus our names on the Jaguar right now. Unless your name is so amazing we can't help it, which we have done in the past.
Hey, Fondon. Good for you. Do you have any ties to McCamey Manor?
Russ will buy masks from me. Russ McCamey. He will buy masks from me on occasion. I'm not a huge fan of McCamey Manor. I just don't think it's a haunted house. I'm aware of it. I know Russ, the owner. He's nice enough in person, but I would not go to the show.
The Grand Wazoo of Heliopolis. Sweet. I made it to a live broadcast.
The Grand Wazoo of Heliopolis.
Warmonger says, being from Pittsburgh, the Jaguar mask should be named Jag Off.
I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
my mighty snapper. Jaguar. Jaguhel. Jaguhel. Jaguar and Amazonian trade language. Cannot even pronounce that. THS. Tipunaba?
Come on, wife, spit it out. What are you doing? Wait, what's holding you up? Too many consonants?
Tipunaba. What kind of words for you?
I'm helping.
Aztec.
Wasn't that the boar in the Lion King?
Timon and Pumbaa. Azcat. Catskill. Tupin Aba is how I read it. Sisters. Tupinaba. Sound that out. Simba. Leave her the best. Looks awesome.
Thanks.
165 people are watching.
Hi guys. So if you are new, we are very interactive with the people who are watching. I don't necessarily like calling them an audience. I don't know. I guess you're an audience. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing, please ask questions. We'll answer. We'll do our best to answer. There are quite a few folks on. If we missed your question, just repeat it. My wife sometimes isn't quite right on top of the feed because she's handling people who are ordering things and wanting to ask questions about orders. So, but we will answer. And every Wednesday we do a sculpting live video like this, and then every Wednesday also there's YouTube Wednesday, which is a recorded video. It's always a how-to of some kind. And I think the next one's going to be on wings, unless I sneak that in early. I really want to do one on wings for folks, because Halloween's coming up, and wings are so hard to do, and I have a new way to do it, which I think is wonderful. I'm a little biased.
It's awesome you're sharing your knowledge with all of us.
Thank you. I just like this. I like what I'm doing. I like making
Jaguar.
stuff.
Agori, Sammy Jaguar.
Okay, so back in the olden days, when I lived in Orlando, at Skull Kingdom, I was a DM of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and as part of that, there was a young Haitian man named Sammy, and he had a character that was a cat person and looked like a Black Panther, and his name was Dolox Juba. I don't know where he got that name from, but that is an option, I guess, for my Jaguar.
Dan Corson says, hi, Sean Gregg was excited he's going to get his working and it's on its way. Do you find water clay better because it's faster to work with?
Yes. I'm not known for my patience, let's be honest. And also, when you're sculpting, I think it's important to have a clay that you can work as fast as you can think. If you think, okay, I want to do this cheekbone, and then you have to work a piece of clay in your hand for 5 minutes before you're able to, maybe that idea goes away, or maybe, you had a better option. And if you had, finished that and not had to work so long on that one piece.
And Chado, Tesne, Chado, Realm says, want to order your sweatshirts? We can have gray or black in the near future.
I can, on Teespring, let me know which one you like, and I can just go in there and make a gray or black one. Like, I can add that to the listing.
Hi, Alan, would you be able to modify a mask with EVA clay foam?
Yes, you can.
Ezekiel says, just reading jaguars and eat turtles.
Yes.
Nahuatl is the name of the Aztec jaguar warriors.
Nahuatl. I did have a lot of
It
pictures.
says, no, Rob says, no, Nahuatl is the language. Grand Wazoo, I want to make a giant spider mold. Do you think the ammonia and latex caulk mixture would work as a mold before using plaster as the mother mold?
No. No, I don't. I think you're going to have to spring for... All right, so what do you want to make your final product out of? Like, what do you want your spiders to be made out of? You want a latex spider head? Do you want a resin spider head? What do you want the spider head made out of? Because a lot of the time, most of the time, what you make the mold out of determines what you can cast in it.
He said foam.
What kind of foam? Rigid or soft foam?
While I wait for that answer, thank you so much for your videos. They have really inspired me and pushed me to create my own creatures. You are a very talented artist.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I was thinking of post-setting foam.
Okay, then you will need a flexible mold. Just get yourself a bucket of latex and do a latex mold. That's the cheapest way to go.
On the eyes of the mask, do you put a ball of clay in it so that it has a bump out, or leave the resin head if this makes any sense?
You can do either. You can do either one. If you leave the resin head form, you've got to cover the eyes. Anywhere there's resin showing, cover that in Vaseline. I'm feeling pretty good about this. You'll note now I built an overlap here over this jaw so that this can be one mask that goes on and then this goes over top of it. So I can now make this a two-piece mask for a moving mask. This should fit inside of here, no problem. I'm going to get a loop tool and start cleaning that up a little bit.
Joshua Wesley says, name for the Jaguar. Jamiroquai. Sounds unique. I'm a fan. I'm a fan, Joshua. Love Jamiroquai.
What's Jamiroquai?
He's a singer.
Oh, he's a singer.
Osiolote. Rob O'Brien says, describe especially brave warriors. Good luck with the pronunciation. I'm sure I screwed that up. Osiolote. Much learning tonight.
Did you say that?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Keep giving me these words and I'm trying to pronounce them for you, and I'm sure I'm screwing them up, but I'm trying.
You're killing it.
1986, you can name it.
You know what? I was actually just thinking of naming it something like Bozeman as a little honor.
Michael says, that's awesome, Al. Definitely looks like a snappy turtle. You can only imagine how good it's going to look when it's finished.
Thank you.
Hard Beauty says, I'm back. What did I miss? Hard Beauty, you missed Jonesy.
Yeah, you missed Jonesy the cat. Showing out. Having a good time. Being a jerk. It is kind of hard to sculpt inside of the mouth with the mouth only open a little bit. But I also want a lot of ability for the actor to breathe.
Are you going to sculpt the head patterns and lines, or are you planning to add those when painting?
I'll probably do some sculpting in of them. But for now, I have to work on all of this, like back here, that I've kind of neglected.
The Hard Beauty says, man, I miss Jones. Give him a snuggle for me. Was there Jones theme song too?
No, there wasn't. He was pretty quiet when he came in this go around. will probably show up again. All right, so I am about 30 minutes out from the end of the broadcast, roughly. I feel good about where I'm at. I'm filling in back behind some of these shapes so that they have a natural end. One of the things that I say a lot is you want to make things look like they're on purpose, and like an overhang without finishing on the back, it just doesn't look like you cared about it. And I want all of this to look like I cared about it. I did it on purpose. Up here are these two big muscles on the head that I see on some of these guys in my reference. I gotta fill them out a little bit. And just, you can just see where it looks rough, you know, that's where I'm going in. I'm not sculpting like a snapping turtle. What I'm sculpting is a monster that resembles a snapping turtle.
Warmonger says, cut the lower jaw off to sculpt a nice tongue and move that reattached the mold.
I think I can do it from where I'm at. I don't think I have to take them apart. I have a good amount of working room, so.
Ooh, Ezekiel sending me kitten videos.
Ezekiel, she is trying to get work done. I don't think you understand how much focus she loses when there's kitten videos.
Oh boy.
And there's 160 people on, no, 169 people watching right now. My wife needs her complete focus on this comment section, lest it gets away from her.
And Frank Watt says, as for the name of the Aztec jaguar, God mask, you could always call it by the Mayan name Ekbalam.
Ekbalam.
Dan McCorson, great job on the COVID video. I bought the digital copy with my phone, not thinking about it. Now I can't get it from my phone to my computer. I even tried to cast it to my Roku from my phone.
You might want to message the wife, and she can help you out. Don't do it now because she's busy with the broadcast, but because she'll stop what she's doing right now and she'll try and help you. And I don't want that. But we can resend you the link. Just don't open it. Don't download it with your phone, so that yeah.
Yes, Horror Beauty. Ezekiel sends me cat videos. Makes me very happy. Harry Beastie says the turtle should be called Terror Pin.
That is actually a really great name. That is a really great name.
Drinkwater, one of the greatest of all Aztec gods. Don't try to pronounce it, Shannon. Now I have to try.
The one I'm most familiar with is Quetzalcoatl because of the movie Q, which I love. The maybe early 80s, but I think late 70s horror movie Q about basically a pterodactyl. Love that movie.
Puppet Master says watch dynamic scares in the post-COVID world today too. Excellent video. I can't recommend it highly.
Hooray! You know, it's just, you know, we have to arm ourselves a little bit. The world's changed. Things are different. And we have to be prepared. I don't know everything, but, you know, here's what I know. Have it, use it, help.
Say hi to Puppet Master.
Hello, Puppet Master. Puppet Master, he was a partner on our black and white haunted house that we did most recently. But he worked with me for many years, many different haunts. This is a calmer. This is a kind of a rake, but it's really just a loop tool. It's twisted brass wire, and I use it as a rake, but it doesn't leave the same rake marks that the other ones do.
Hey Dan McCorson, I sent you the link. Give it a shot.
Why? If you're supposed to be working.
I am working. We have to be prepared. No chicken fried steaks for 12 months for the Aussie, says Ezekiel.
Chicken fried steaks. That's a fate worse than death. Oh, he meant he can't come to the States because he gets chicken fried steak.
There's a when I get down there for Monster Camp, hopefully next year, is there good green chili down there? Got a plan, you know. Buddy, you should say.
Dude, wife, that's the next story time,
Oh my goodness.
which will happen soon.
Misty says wings sound awesome. Divine feline, snapper jack, terrapin, Aztec serpent god. Says loves the hat. Gator Nader.
Oh, thank you.
Line Coach says I think I got everything I need for my whiplash costume.
Oh, that's so awesome. I'm going to be sculpting the arms here soon that I need for Beastman. To me, the arms are kind of really pivotal, so we will have, you know, the same arms on almost everybody. Boy, I really want to put a split down here to divide the head into two sections. I just don't see that on a lot of my reference, so I'm not going to. And this is the point where I find myself, and this is going to sound weird to some of you guys who sculpt, this is where I don't know a better way to say this, where I dick around the most. I'm not really accomplishing anything. If I'm not careful, I'm not really accomplishing anything. I'm just kind of smoothing because I'm avoiding going from primary forms to secondary forms. My avoidance tends to happen, you know, for a couple hours, but there are some people who do this for weeks on a sculpture. I'm a pretty fast sculptor. I sort of push through stuff, but
Celeste Kitty says, scar on the sky would be great. Warmonger says, snap judgment.
that's nice.
Finn says, we have the best green chili in the world where I am from. Nancy. Where are you, Finn? Remind me again.
Finn, where you is, bro?
Nancy Baby says, Beastman has way different arms than the other Motu characters.
They're not that different. I mean, all the muscles are the same. You're talking about the finish on them. Now, Beastman's arms on his right hand, he has a little weapon right here, a little three-pronged weapon that most people don't have. He has very thin wristbands. They're like an inch wide. I'll actually be beefing them up for mine because I just don't like the look of those as much. But yeah, all the arms shape, the arms bulk is pretty similar, and that's what I'm gonna work on. All the finishing is that's easy.
Finn Bellwood is from New Mexico. Yep.
Okay.
You are correct. You are correct. You do have the best green chili. Let's see. Cat says, why not just call him Jaguar George? And Sparrow's Cave says, Wakanda's Jaguar. Puppet Master says, I will pet him and love him. Spook Shack, I like those two-part mask designs and good stuff. Call him Snapback Jack, says Amanda Wilson. You are at 941 and 164 people.
Okay. How do you feel about going to 10:30, baby? What do you guys think? Should we cut off tonight at 10 or 10:30? We do a lot of voting on this YouTube channel. Okay, I feel good. The inside of the mouth is nice and smoothed out. I think I need a little more of a curve right here that I can put a nice sharp on.
Are we naming the turtle too?
We're not going to name the turtle tonight. Normally I name the turtle, I name the mask on the second night of refinement, but you guys didn't see, you weren't here when I refined the Jaguar to mold it. I think I only did one night of sculpting on that for y'all to see. A lot of work happens here like off camera, so not everything that I do happens on camera.
Realm says, we got a 1 gallon bucket of the latex to make a mask, and I don't know if that will be enough to fill up the pig head mold. Please help in your thoughts. Thank you.
It may not be enough, but you can do what's called slush casting. And what slush casting is that's where you pour in the latex you have, roll it around so it covers everything, and then drain it back into the bucket. Let that dry for a couple hours, and then do it again. And that'll build up a good thickness, the same way that dwelling will.
Amanda says you guys have a busy week. Call at 10. Ezekiel says, how about you get some rest? And then there's a lot of people who are saying go till 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock.
I see.
So I like Ezekiel and Amanda. Edson says, for what my 2 cents are worth, deeper nostrils, longer beak. Sparrow's Cave. Night all, the neighbor turtle is Teratoa. Tormund. Oh, that's a good name. That's the one. What if he ends up being Trey Surtees says 11 is when I crack a beer.
20 what?
It's when he cracks a beer.
Hooray.
Ezekiel, take the missus inside, whip up a cocktail for the boat duty, or take a chill. Do you have any pictures of the Jaguar yet?
No, I just have no. I think there's pictures of it on the Creepers page, and I know there's pictures of it on Latex Mask Central.
Yeah, I don't have it, nothing officially after this one. Just
Yeah.
agree, you explain BOT. I find myself moving around too much. There's been times I was working 2 hours and I don't accomplish much form at all.
Yeah, like you should have your forms done in that first hour and a half, in my opinion.
Justin says that would be my biggest barrier. I've got a breakthrough if I attend Monster Camp. I'm not used to knocking the skull out in one day.
Well, that's why I'm here, with a stick.
Will this mask have eyes, since snappers have creepy eyes?
Yes, it will have creepy eyes.
Good night, Spook Shack. Teratoa. What names?
I have to go inside and treat this edge the same way that I treated the outside, so that it stays together and so it's not like a bad spot. When the mouth is open, you'll see the inside of the mouth, so that has to be sculpted and finished.
An LED on the tongue would be cool because snappers have that dangling bit.
They do, they just have like a fleshy worm-colored tongue. It looks a lot like an earthworm.
What the heck? I'm gonna crack a beer now.
Yeah, don't hold yourself back. Live to your true potential. Now, every single reference that is Toka or Razar has a very much a beak, and it's delineated that it's a beak. I don't think I like that. And I'll show you what I mean up there. See how that's a beak, top of your screen? It's like segmented off. Now the snapping turtles don't have it. They have a sharp beak part, but it's not separated from the rest of the head the same way that a bird's beak is. You know, there's a very different, distinct material there that changes. That one is not. That picture I really like. That's probably one of my main references. See how much of that looks like a beak on him? I'm not a big fan of that. Because turtles just don't have it. So this one's not going to have it. I'm going to grab myself some water. And no, I'm not. I'm going to grab myself some wax. And we'll get this guy smoothed out with a brush. And then from there, we'll start putting in some detail.
Reptile cosplays. You're gonna make the edges of the beak look sharp or keep it the way it is.
I'll probably sharpen them a little bit. But I can't do that until I get it all smoothed out.
Damn the horses. I only have about 2.5 notebook pages of stuff to finish in 15 days before we open. Trying to grind through. It sure has been a fun and trying experience. Can't wait for the payoff.
Yeah, me neither.
Trey says, but you're creating your own character. No crazy. Celeste says, this guy looks more like Chamberlain from Darkness.
I guess there's a bit of a skexy to him, yeah, I can see that. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Harry Flanagan, do you have the time to do the rabbit arms and a Leech Lord mask before the 1st?
What's today's date?
Today's the 16th.
Yes. Yeah, I do.
1980, I can't see your reference, but all of the common snappers have blunt vertical beaks, not tapered verticals.
Yeah, I want it to be pointier, like it could rip you a little bit. But they do have some sharpness to their beak. The bottom especially is really a sharp point.
Harry Beastie says, I think his nose needs to square in the profile. Sorry for backseat sculpting.
You may be right.
I just knew you knocked this sculpt out of the park because I've seen them in real life. They're thinking a reference to the hooked horrors from AD and D.
Yeah, they do. And I like a hooked horror. Hooked horrors and owlbears, those are happy friends.
Hi from Chile. Stubby Studios. I'm ZBrushing while hearing this live broadcast for inspiration. Hope it's not sacrilege considering the practical sculpting nature of the studio and channel.
No, not at all. You know what? You're making stuff. You're creating. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, in my opinion. You know what? Let's look at the profile, and I think that I'm getting called out on some sculpting things here, and I think you guys are right.
Justin Moody says, it's just a personal opinion if you don't mind my saying. I think he would look a little meaner or attack ready if the mouth was open more, like the reference photo. It looks aggravating.
Yes, you are correct. He would. The issue that I have there is simply that if the mouth is open that much, then I need to sculpt this in a pretty neutral so that we can close it and then the actor can open it up. If I sculpt this with the mouth really wide open, it won't want to close. And remember, I'm going to make this into a moving jaw mask down the road. I want to be able to have both versions. And a very simple version
Ezekiel says, what do you think of the cutesy Halloween stuff? There's so much of it here, I'm not a fan.
Ezekiel, you know what? Australia is a new market for Halloween, in my opinion. I don't live there. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's kind of a new market. Whatever allows Halloween to creep in, we used to have the Campbell soup kits, you know, and now we have way more in the States. Now we have way more Silent Hill nurses than we do Campbell soup kits. That is a deviation away from wholesome and cutesy, for sure. But just being able to have something, having something for Halloween there. It's a holiday that, you know, kind of technically it originated, you know, in Ireland or whatever. But Halloween as we know it now is very Americanized. And you're getting something. And what you're getting right now, it may be the cutesy crap. I assure you that is a gateway drug. And that is opening the door for cooler, harder, heavier, meaner, hairier stuff. I almost said hornier. Glad I stopped myself. Stuff to come into your Halloween market. So be aware of that.
Something to think of also is that Ezekiel's been Transworld multiple times, so he's seen the big show.
Yeah, most of Australia hasn't been to Transworld. They don't know. And I like this. I like this nose addition. I think it actually could be a little more.
Let's see, could you use glycerin instead of the polish?
That was from Realms.
No, wrong and right?
Yeah, you could. Yes, you can use glycerin. I just like the Pledge floor wax a little bit.
Howdy, Vance. Hi, Alan. I'm new on here, but I've been making monsters for years. I look at videos and learn something new from them all the time. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed them. And I appreciate you hanging out with us.
The wolf says, would you ever make an alligator mask or bust if you have not already?
I have. I've actually done Sobek, which is the Egyptian god with the alligator head. I have done him 4 different times. I've made some Sobeks.
And you did a gator last.
I did a crocodile last year. Yeah, I did a crocodile last year also, which and I did that mostly out of EVA foam.
Michelle says, Alan, have you started to read The End of Summer yet? That's one of Halloween books then.
I have not yet. Most of my reading is actually audiobooks because I'm here.
Sam Bone says, that thing is looking amazing.
Hey, thank you. And let's take a page from one of our references and let's do a little build up for the nostrils and see how that looks. Most turtle nostrils go kind of straight in, but let's see what we can do as far as build up for the nostrils and see if we like that. When you're thinking about anatomy on a face, imagine that you are teeny tiny and you know, like the eyeball, let's call that a hole, the mouth is a hole, the ear is a hole. Think about if you were running, when you got to it, would you be running uphill and then jump off? Or would you just be running down a slope like you would off of this eye? And, you know, because you just run off the end of the slope, but this is like a ramp, you would run up. Look at your reference and do that. And then look at your sculpture and see if it's different. And how different is it? That thinking of it like you're running up and down a ramp, I find to be very useful for me. Okay, so that widens out the tip that I like. What do you guys think about that? Now I use this same twisted brass wire loop tool.
Good night, Dan Corson. Harry Beastie said he is so much meaner looking. Justin Moody says, I went to a haunt in Ohio here a few years back, and they had a silent pill nurse there, and obviously the out was revealed. Let's just say I wasn't scared.
Yes.
Gary Flanagan says, good night, I will order tomorrow.
Good deal.
1980 says, definitely more snapping turtle with the nose shape.
Yeah, I think that really helped. I understand that sometimes I'm sculpting by committee. I get that, but I don't mind it. It takes a certain temperament to be able to do that. In all honesty, I don't want you guys to form the habit of giving that much feedback to other sculptors because they may not enjoy. I'm just saying, be aware and be careful. You might upset them. Generally, I'm a pretty mellow guy. Yeah, that's better.
Stone Farmer, hey, this beats the vacuum formed plastic mask I had in the 70s. Unorthodox Entertainment says, looks a little piggish now, definitely meaner though, and hats off for being able to take criticism. That's a rare talent. Puppet Master says, the nostrils give it more of a dragon look feel to me.
Which I don't mind. Who doesn't like dragons, right?
Another line, the wolf says, what is the most difficult mask you have ever made?
This one. Because all the rest are behind me. I don't think that way. I have no idea. I'm so the wrong guy to ask. What's my favorite mask I've ever sculpted? The next one. What is, the most difficult mask I've ever sculpted? The next one. So, that's hard for me to say. I just don't think that way.
I drink what says, alrighty then, I'm gonna go ahead and mosey on out. Good sir, definitely want you to see what these suckers will look like when you're done. I mean, it's gonna be epic,
Thank you for joining us again. I appreciate having you on.
Ezekiel says, what's your earliest memory of Halloween as a child?
I remember going to a Halloween thing at my elementary school, and I was dressed as a construction worker with a play school construction hard hat. And my sister was also dressed as a construction worker. And we had little eyeliner pencil mustaches. That's probably my earliest Halloween memory. I think before that, I remember trick-or-treating and my mother being horrified when I actually said, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. Because no one trained me and said, this is what you say when you go to the door. So I knew it had to do with trick or treat, and I just thought everybody shortened it. So I thought the whole thing was surely trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. So I said that. And then I got training on what you should actually say, which is just trick or treat. Way less formal than I wanted to make it.
Cat Sweet says, Alan, that sets you apart, makes you so great. You listen and you call, then you can tell us why not change it, or you do change it. Either way, you learn. Thank you.
Well, I'm learning too, guys.
Celeste Kitty says it looks like a centuries-old snack.
Yeah, that did change some things.
Ezekiel says, Hops the Builder. I drink what says, you're welcome, be safe, you guys. Mike says, how are you going to keep it on your head?
It's just gonna,
Be a sock?
it's gonna sit right on your head.
No, I think it means like a sock mask.
Well, we normally strap half masks. If it stays a half mask, we might put it on an EVA foam helmet. We might put it on as a sock mask. We have a lot of options. In my head right now, I'm already kind of building a turtle shell that comes up and allows this to be a half mask. But the turtle shell comes all the way up here and over your shoulders out of EVA foam. That'd be fun to make.
Justin Rudy says, I feel bad when I see people rip others with little to no sculpting experience on Facebook. You obviously are not helping. It does more damage to sculptors than people think. Some quitter.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I try to give feedback, but I'm giving constructive criticism. That's my hope. I want to encourage people, but we also have to let them know what's here's what you can do to be better. If they ask, if they don't ask and they say this is finished, I'm happy with it, I think it's awesome, then I'm not going to give them any feedback because they don't want feedback. But if they ask for criticism, then I will help them.
Bill says it was so heartbreaking to cut off the teeth.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
Celeste, Alan, what is your favorite urban legend? Can you tell it? Can you tell it to us?
My favorite urban legend. What's that?
Just thinking about all the ones we talked about. We always had to watching Thunderbirds.
Yeah. As far as cryptids, I think my favorite cryptid is Thunderbirds. But urban legend, I have to go with the classic Hookman. That's the one that was kind of told to me first, and really, it was the easiest to quantify to me as an urban legend. To where, you know, that you're told the whole story. I was told the whole story of Hookman. This couple went to a local makeout point, and they ended up, you know, they were there and they heard a radio. You know, they heard something outside, you know, rustling around the woods near them. Then, you know, they heard that again. Then they heard on the radio that there was an escaped maniac with a hook for a hand. And then you know, they agreed to leave, and there's two versions. And the first version I heard was the boy goes out to investigate the noise, and she hears this on top of the car, and she gets kind of scared, and she waits, and she's calling for him. Well, he leaves the keys in the car, so finally, after like 20 minutes, she's like, I'm leaving. And so she gets the car and drives away, and she hears him yelling, but at this point she's mad, so she goes there. And when she gets home, she looks on the door handle of the car, and that's the hook from, you know, the hook man. And he was about to get into the car when she drove away and ripped his hook off. Which, by the way, that whole urban legend and story really hurt the dating chances of guys that happen to have hook hands. I mean, really. I mean, you know, I don't know of a positive hook hand story. They're all negative. It's got to hurt. But anyway, I digress a little. And what was I talking about? Oh, anyway, and the noise that she heard, the police go back in the morning after she complains and sees it, and when the police go there, right where she was parked, her boyfriend is hanging from a tree, and it was his shoes scraping against the roof of the car that she heard before she left. So yeah. And then the other one is, of course, they both drive away and they hear the screaming, and then they see the hook on the door.
Do you feel like your sculpting style is evolving in quarantine, and if so, in what ways?
I just keep trying to get better. I want my next sculpt to be my best sculpt. So, yeah, I mean, has it evolved during quarantine? I'm not sure. I don't know. I would like to think that it has. I don't want to be sculpting in a vacuum. I want it to evolve from sculpt to sculpt. All right, I'm going to brush this out because I feel like that's what I need to do. I haven't even smoothed all this out yet, so let me get it brushed out, and that'll do a little bit of that. Let me go heavy with this brush to make this more like folds of skin, and you'll kind of see what's happening. In this cup is actually, this is Orange Glow floor wax, but Future floor wax, Mop and Glow, any of that will work fine. And I want to get all those little rake marks that made it look sculpture-y and made it look smoother, smooth it out. I want to get all those rake marks out now so that I can put on the texture that I want.
What about adding a scar from the top of one eye and have it go diagonal across the nose? Like you got into something that caused it to forward?
That's possible. I'm not there yet, but that's possible. Someone mentioned the scar earlier and how good a scar would look. I agree with you. Currently, I'm just trying to keep all these folds from looking like a foreskin if I can help it.
He says, I dated a girl with a half arm in my younger days. I'm joking.
Cool. Great. I see nothing wrong with that, obviously.
Celeste Kitty, wifey,
That's you.
what is your favorite urban legend? Can you tell us this?
Did you guys hear her okay tonight?
Celeste, mine's going to be a classic. It's very much like it runs parallel to Chicago's Resurrection Mary. And because ours is the Lady of White Rock Lake. White Rock Lake is a lake in Dallas. And because I grew up around here, it was one of the most popular urban legends when I was a kid. And when I was too young to drive, I always wanted Dad to drive me around there on Halloween night so we could see if we could see her. It's the same basic legend like Resurrection Mary is a young woman in a evening dress that looks like she's in her 20s or 30s, and she's soaking wet, and she's walking by the water and down the road, and a gentleman stops to help her. She gets in the back of the car, and he goes by, and they, he's talking to her, and she's, just a ethereal person. And when he turns around and looks, she's gone in the back seat of the puddle and the floorboard, and it's just to me it was always, I love ghosts, and so as a kid, the thought of there possibly being a local ghost, that if I got very lucky at the right place at the right time, maybe I could see her, was something that was very appealing to me as a kid. And when we went to Chicago, the first time for one of the legendary haunt tours, I definitely made sure that Alan took me by Resurrection Cemetery, where Resurrection Mary is. I was hoping I'd get to see her. Didn't get to see her, but I tried. And so our version is the Lady of White Rock Lake.
Yeah.
And still haven't seen her, but I'm watching for her. And if I see her, I'm going to give her a ride and tell her to please not leave and come back to the house so we can talk.
Have some tea.
Come have some tea with me. Okay.
You got to help me out on this camera, so I've got it zoomed in so I can see what's happening, but that means
Okay,
I might not see some stuff.
1980 says, positive hooch hand story. I think that book here. A guy took his girlfriend shopping. She wanted to try on a dress. He carried all 10 dresses easily with this one.
Hooray!
Good night, Kaz. Z, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm making a turtle.
Ken Zarish says, turtle power. Rob says, I can use a turtle wax. Balls. Unorthodox entertainment. I wasn't thinking it looked like. All right.
But now you are.
Pressing on. Reptile cosplay. Can't wait to see the turtle shell. You might help me with my Ninja Turtle costume when I get around to making it. Ezekiel says, with Pledgewood magic work. I always end up with 3-month discovery when you mention a new product.
It might. Is it a wax like this? Is it meant for floors? If it's meant for floors, I'm sure it'll work.
All right, Justin Rooney's rapid fire questions.
I'm ready, Justin. Bring it.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes. Statistically, I have to.
Stephen Holberg says, does Alan believe Bigfoot exists?
I do. I do believe in
I
Bigfoot.
do believe he exists.
Why? Because I want to. I don't care about your evidence. It doesn't matter. I want to believe in Bigfoot, so I do. Me believing in Bigfoot hurts no one. And it's fun.
Gregory Haynes, Alan, I think the point of the top beak should be longer, overlapping the bottom jaw.
It will overlap the bottom jaw when it's closed. When it's fully closed. I will look at it and check. Right now, I'm happy with it, but I will investigate further.
Realms, any tips on molding?
Yes. The number one issue that most people have is they make their mold too thin, or they don't get enough plaster. So make sure you get enough plaster. I wouldn't start a mold without at least a 50-pound bag, and your inclination is going to be to go too thin. Keep track of how thick an area is of plaster, and if you keep track, then you probably won't go too thin. But going too thin, and people have thin spots and it breaks through, that happens all the time.
I do hope I say this right. Koji Akamichi. I just found your channel today and I couldn't be happier. It's absolutely wonderful.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy the channel. I appreciate that.
It says now it's great pizza, cowabunga.
Cow.
It says, send me an email regarding the purchase of a match. Okay, I got you, Finn, I'll check you out.
All right, so I am brushed out. Right now it's 10:15. I'll be able to start putting some texture on this. Honestly, it doesn't really need a lot. Mostly what I'm going to be putting on this is features, you know. He's got little bumps and he's got a sharper beak, just those kind of things. This is just like a shaving brush, but I picked up for some texture. And I think tomorrow night, or tomorrow day, I'll be live working on a pelican mask. Pretty sure that's happening tonight. Do watch for any bristles to come out of your brush and just fix them as they do it.
Okay.
I think you're right. This could hook a little more, so I'll probably add a little bit to this. But if it was any longer earlier, then I wouldn't have been able to work inside the mouth. I think I'm safe now to work in there.
Stephen Holder says, I just noticed that Pat says God is sculpting.
Yes. That's why I'm getting all these Bigfoot questions.
What is the point of the floor wax?
So I don't. Were you watching? Because it used to have all these rake marks on it, and I painted it with floor wax, and that just helped everything meld together, and it gave me a nice smooth surface that I can now texture the way that I want. Because before it had all these rake marks from me scraping down the sculpture. So I use a rake tool, and I'll probably use one again. Now this brush isn't doing the exact same thing it was doing because it gets stopped up with clay. You got to clean it off every now and then.
Finn says robot notifications are on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rob, I think we did just get one rapid fire. I don't know what happened to Justin.
Are you on Top Chat or Live
I'm
Chat?
on live chat. Is the
Okay.
turtle going to have teeth?
I don't think so because turtles just don't have teeth. I am going to get in there and sculpt the tongue or sculpt the tongue and then place it in there. So that'll happen, but I don't think he's going to necessarily have teeth because they don't.
Okay, cool. I saw I used alcohol on a different site because it's some using alcohol.
It depends on what you're doing and what kind of clay you're using. If they were using alcohol, then they were probably sculpting with an oil-based clay. I'm sculpting with a water-based clay. Most people would just brush it out with water. I happen to use floor wax.
Justin Rudy, the best third installment in a slasher franchise.
Oh, that is definitely Friday the 13th Part 3 because that's where he gets his hockey mask for the first time.
This is a great animatronic head to come out of a box with bushes.
Hold on. I gotta go back. Because Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street, was also excellent. Mostly because of the soundtrack by Dokken. Really, really excellent. Dream Warriors! Yeah, really good.
Now they're all going to start drinking. Why floor wax instead of water?
Well, you add glycerin to the clay in order to turn it into wet clay. So the floor wax doesn't really hurt. It helps develop a little bit of toughness on the outside. All this clay is an organic compound. Wood is an organic compound. So I'm just using the floor wax to help protect the clay a little bit, give it a little bit more strength, a little bit more body.
Thursday show, what time do you hope to start? Did you say
Early, like two or three.
tomorrow.
Yeah. I know I'm normally off, but I work during the day tomorrow. So, did I have something going on tomorrow that I forgot about?
Got a lot you gotta do.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Celeste Kitty, looks more like a common snapper than an alligator snapper now. A bigger hook and a curve would be more impressive.
I may add a little bit onto the hook. Right now I'm working on some brows and beefing these guys up a little bit. And I don't want it to be either one of those. I want it to be its own thing. It's going to be a fantasy animal. So I'm not afraid to have it not look like an alligator. I just happen to use an alligator as a reference.
Chad Smith, holy crap, Alan, huge thank you. I just pulled my first dino, and all the teeth came out clean and full. No air bubbles, zip ties, perfect way to use it.
Aren't they a nice, isn't that a nice way to go? Yeah, air bubbles in teeth are killer, man. That's why so many people, they mold their teeth separately because they can't control air bubbles in their latex. If you know, it's not because it's hard to mold.
How much does the clay cost per
Right about 40 cents a pound.
Will you be adding the whisker-like skin tags?
I will be adding some of those, yes. But those are going to dry out so much, those will be added down the line. There's a certain time to do things, and right now is too early to add a feature like that.
Ezekiel says, George Lynch, Doggett, the only guitarist on the bucket list I have not met yet.
Yeah, he's a good one, man.
I got a 10-pound bag of plaster, and I thought that would be enough. But I get...
No, it's not enough. Get yourself 50 pounds of plaster.
Ben says, I love Dream Warriors, Doggett and Rocks. Nick says, have you found any recipes online to make oil-based clay at home?
It's not that expensive. I haven't ever looked because just buy oil-based clay. I have seen recipes for it, but I haven't been looking for them. I've run into some. So they're out there. It's possible you could find it. A lot of them use paraffin wax. It's more of a wax-based clay, more of a sculpting wax, I guess. I don't like that. I think it looks dorky. I don't want to. Going back. I want to go back, do it all over, but I can't go back, I know. Yes, I can. I just did. Ha ha! Stop me. Alright. Yeah, see, I don't like the teeth going down the sides here that some of these guys have. And I don't like, I think I want to keep this pretty close to where it's at right now.
Stephen Muller says, thanks to both of you for providing this channel.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Lisa says, lots of folks on the live feed tonight that I admire from the club community.
Hooray!
1980 says, thoughts of green plug algae in random areas in the lympho page.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Realm says, I guess I'll mold the teeth tomorrow. Shoji Akamachi says, why use water-based clay instead of oil? I saw to use water-based clay as the wall and just the wall.
Well, that's an option, but the Predator was sculpted with water-based clay. All the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were sculpted with water-based clay. Okay. And this is going to sound like I'm ragging on oil-based clay. Oil-based clay is great for hobbyists if they are going to sculpt a little bit and then maybe not get back to it for a couple days. It's going to stay in your garage or whatever, wherever you're working. But if you're going to work, this is my job. I'm working. And the water-based clay is a good tool for when I'm working. It's fast. It has a good amount of detail. It has the detail that I need. I don't need any more than what it can give me for what I do. I'm not going to leave this for long lengths of time. This is not going to be a 2-week-long sculpture. I'm going to have maybe 8 hours in this total by the time I mold it. Yeah. So Why water-based clay? I like it. I prefer it. There you go. I think it's faster. I think it's more on the professional side because of its speed. You see, to get it, oh,
Shoji says, thanks.
I want this to work. If you're molding in oil-based clay, then yes, you use water-based clay for the wall. If you are sculpting in water-based, I still use water-based clay for the wall.
Justin Ruby, name a theme you would like to do in Dark Hour that you have not done before.
An Asian theme with Asian myths and legends like Oni and things. I think that would be really cool. There have been some shows that have done that, and I did a Mount Everest theme before when I did a Yeti show, so that was set in Asia. However, I just want to go more classical. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. I'd love to make the costumes for it.
Stephen Holder says, I remember, excuse me, I remember Alex Gildes from Stan Winston Studios saying the same thing about water-based clay.
What do you mean the same thing?
What you were just saying about the
Oh yeah, I mean it's faster. So why not use faster? If you and you're not going to get to it. I understand. Also, it tends to be a more professional material because it's messy. Like you can see, I'm covered in dust. I'm covered in clay dust already. And if you work in your living room, you can't do this. So, you don't want to cover your living room in dust. I get it. I don't know if I'm sold on this, but I'm trying.
Nicholas Fincher says, wow, been away for an hour. Can't believe the change looks great. 1980 says, Skeksis, that's what this one is.
A little bit, yeah.
The Hoopy Home would be amazing. Choji, I just sent you the link for Dark Hour. That is the haunt that Alan is director from.
Yeah.
And I just sent you the link, so you don't even have to Google it, you go straight to it.
Dark Hour Haunted House, Plano, Texas.
Alamantra looks great like a Jurassic turtle, but I do like the small beak better. Mr. I, Alan, in a previous broadcast, you said clowns are common and not interesting anymore. Considering that, what do you think about the killer clowns from outer space designed by the Chiodo brothers?
I've never liked them. They look like cartoons. They're not, I don't think they're scary. I just don't like them. And that's a preference. I could be saying right now, I don't like country music. I actually prefer country music over killer clowns from outer space. I don't find them scary. I don't find them menacing. I don't find them rooted into any primal nature that makes them interesting to me. I don't believe in them. It's a ridiculous thing. It's a joke. And I take monsters so seriously, I don't do well with joke monsters. I just don't think it's, I don't like it. Monsters can be respected. And I don't think that killer clowns give off that air.
1980 had said Skeksis, that's what this reminds me of, and in response, Catslips, sorry, hang on. El Copeland says that Skeksis was going to be one of the sculpt ideas when she gets to hospital.
Awesome.
Hello, Limelight. Realm says, when you mold, I have a mask, you just leave it on the board that you sculpted it on, or what?
No, I take it off and I lay it down so it's head up. It's no longer at an angle like this, it is looking straight up in the air. And that's why I do these half-mask blanks this way.
Warmonger says oil-based clay is outstanding for half-scale and smaller sculpts to capture finer detail.
It is. It holds more detail than wet clay. It's great. It just takes longer. And if you're working professionally, you don't have that kind of time.
Les says, the amount of nightmares I had from killer clowns as a kid, I also had nightmares from the first Jurassic Park when I'm 34. I was young. Stephen Hubert, it's strange to see people dress up as clowns to go out and harass people. Christine Gallo, since 2016 tried so hard to make clowns scary.
They did.
Wage 99.86, definitely looks like a snapper. I found it in the yard last week. Oh, boy.
Sweet.
Since you are sculpting Justin Rudy, since you are sculpting a turtle, who is the best Ninja Turtle?
I'm gonna go with Donatello.
Chad says, I don't disagree with you. I sculpt with wet in my living room. Unfortunately, I have to clean after every session.
That means you don't disagree with me. You just do it and suffer the consequences.
Well, so you take it off this board completely, even though the foot comes off, because that makes a ton of sense to take it off the board.
You actually could leave it on the board and just take the foot off and lay it down and mold that. That'd be fine. But normally I just take the whole thing. You can tell. Can you tell I'm trying to sharpen this beak a little bit? You know.
Okay. When's the last time you did a maquette?
I don't do maquettes. If I'm going to spend the time to sculpt a maquette, I could have sculpted a mask and actually sculpted something that was useful to me. I'm not making art, I'm making tools. Maquettes are little art pieces that are cool to put on a bookshelf or whatever. And I'm not knocking them. It's art. It's viable. It's a real thing. But I want to make masks. I want to have monsters in my head, work on a sculpt, make a mold, and then see the monster in my head walking around. That's a very important part of the process for me. I don't want to make something to sit on a shelf.
Do you prefer whole or half masks better to sculpt, or does it matter?
It honestly doesn't matter. I can make anything out of a half mask that normally would take a whole mask.
Is there a brand of wet clay that is best, or are they comparable?
Wed Laguna. There's only one brand of wed clay. There's a lot of brands of water-based clay. But wed clay is made by Laguna Clay Company, and that's just what it is.
Alan, have you ever heard of Fear Fair, the haunted house in Indiana?
Yes, I'm pretty good friends with the owner.
The bottom beak is always worn down, the top keeps growing and wears down to stay sharp, says Celeste.
You know what? I'm actually seeing different in my reference. I see a lot of worn down top beaks and sharp bottom beaks.
You made a Baby Yoda inspired piece since 1980, and Enigma says, have you ever tried Roma clay?
I used to play with Roma clay. Back before silicone was a big thing and had sulfur in it. It made my hands green. I didn't like it, so I went back to wet.
OG Akabichi, I adore how serious he takes this.
I take my monsters very seriously. It's true.
Justin Rudy, the ridge over the eyes, the pointy beak made a big difference. It's looking really good.
Yeah, I think it squared out the head really nice. I'm just going to do a couple like skin tags here and there, but I'm going to do like roundy, warty ones that I see on a few of these guys.
There's a great haunted house in Niagara Falls, Canada. Have you been?
I have been to one haunted house in Niagara Falls, Canada, but I've also been to Chamber of Horrors, which is in Buffalo, New York, pretty close to Niagara Falls, Canada.
Ezekiel says, I gotta be honest, I could never get into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You know what? I didn't really like the TV show that much, the cartoon. I enjoyed the action figures, and my favorite action figure of theirs was one called the Rat King, because he reminded me of Quasimodo, and I've always had a soft spot for Quasimodo and Hunchbacks, because I'm a middle-sized person. At that point in time, I was probably only like 5'7", 5'8", and I couldn't play the roles. I couldn't play Frankenstein. I was too short. So I'm like, yeah, I could be a hunchback. I could be a wolfman. Those were ones that appealed to me.
Kinsbury says, rat queen, yes. Choji says, I'm glad every other source I found seems so good.
I am more than willing to help anyone. I have helped people learn to sculpt, and then they become better sculptors than me, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I need to step back a little bit. I'm a little too close to my work. Let's take a look. Step back.
These turtles ever have some kind of worm attached to them?
No, but their tongue looks like a little worm. That might be what you're thinking of. Now, they might have leeches, yeah, but their tongue looks like a worm. These are some very sound asleep doggos.
First time I saw a hunchback dog was made, which was awesome. What was the name of the little robots that tracked rats on Teenage Mutant?
I have no idea. Robots that trap rats? That sounds
Marcus
cool.
says, I was wrong, now that you feel the edge of the peak, I like that.
Well, that's what I was trying to do. I wanted to work it until it made sense, Al. My gut said it was wrong, too.
You went on the team for Fair Acres in Connecticut.
Yes.
Justin Reed says, we have Land of Illusions here, close to my house. It's a fun haunt, but it fails to scare in the scare department. It's still fun to go.
I've heard of them.
The robots were called mousers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Jones!
They look like robot dodo birds.
Jonesy!
Bones Jones. Jones. And that's his butt. All right, so gang, I think that is the evening. I feel pretty good about where the turtle ended up. And I think the vision is going to be just fine on him through the screen. If you look straight on, like your eyes are right back there. So you'll have these hard corners to look out of. I think that'll be just fine. And I could probably use it for some other things also, even though it does have a hard turtle lip. But anyway, I was about to say, wife, why don't you say goodnight to these fine folks?
Good night, everybody.
137 people hanging out with us, and
Thank you so
I
much.
greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, then subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel, maybe you can buy a t-shirt off Teespring, or check out our website, filthystudios.com. That's fun too.
Celeste says, one more story before you go. What is your favorite Halloween memory?
My
Please, please.
favorite Halloween memory? Okay. Oh boy. All right. So there was a year when the haunted house was kind of rained out. I had a haunted trail, and I was paying my actors, and out of the 11 nights of operation we had, it poured down rain for 9 of those nights. Well, I didn't have enough money to pay my actors. Like, I didn't make anything. So I took off Halloween night, I let someone else run it, and I went and entered costume contests in the stilt costume that I... Hi down there. Okay. So this is what happens when you ask me to talk after I take you off the tripod. So, I guess we can go back to the tripod. So, but anyway, I take off, I'm in a stilt bat costume, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, this was 2003? 2002? 2002. The costume contest didn't start till like 10 or 11 p.m. So I was off work. I got them open, and then I went to Shannon's house, and I suited up and scared kids who were coming to trick or treat. And I had never done that before because I always worked Halloween. So I scared a bunch of kids. Like, it was great. They were running everywhere. I was a little bit merciless. In their brain, they thought I couldn't like leave the yard. Well, I chased them for blocks. It was a blast. I was a quadruped stilt costume, big bat creature. So, and then that night we went and I won the costume contest. I made enough money to pay my actors, and that was a good Halloween memory. That's right. There was young ladies trying to look up the bat's loincloth, and my wife, who was dressed as a witch, hit her with her broom to keep them away. That was pretty funny.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah, I got to destroy some folks. They were not ready for a giant stilt monster to come out from around the corner of her house. So, wife, say goodnight again.
Good night.
Turtle says goodnight. I say goodnight. And I also say, go make stuff.